You're listening to The Boxing Voice.
It's showtime! Welcome back, boxing fans.
Blood is good. Blood is emotion.
Too much blood coming out of the eye.
Blood is a story, a drama.
Deep gas, blood pouring right into his eye.
Blood is what we want to see in terms of passion.
Blood streaming now from the cut in the eye, the nose, his mouth, his cheeks swollen, and he's still tall.
What we want is a bloody good fight tonight.
We have Heather, the Heat Hardy. Is this you?
This is me. I think I need to talk to you every night because you make me smile and blush over here.
Never been a lame hoe, never been a lame hoe. Yeah, I love the trick. I'm okay.
You're serious? You're serious?
And that's the good thing about UK. That's why I can't hate on them guys, man. They love fucking boxing.
No fighters in England. They all bums.
Did you hear what this idiot just said?
Yo, son, you're gonna get your ass beat by Molina, son.
Are you fucking kidding me? He's overrated.
Do some pushes for me right now.
For the interview?
Yes?
Let those gifted hands go. Get out of here, Virgil. Go home.
What next?
You want the table starts to feed. You don't even like it. You want the table starts to feed.
BoxingVoice.com.
This is why we use the word sensation.
All right, excuse me. All right, everybody, welcome back to another edition of the Boxing Voice. Today is going to be Floyd Mayweather, the aftermath, the mayhem that's taking place in Mayweather Promotions. Mayweather seems to be wanting to shake things up. And listen, you got to do something to keep me entertained after that horrendous fight. So, you know, I'll take the drama within the camp without a problem. But I don't know, man. A couple of you guys might remember this guy, but he's finally back.
It's me, Mario.
Okay, so maybe he's not back. But when he is, I guess we will get to him. But like I said, man, a lot of things taking place. Mayweather Promotions. Looks like he's gonna get rid of Ellerby. He's gonna get rid of Rafael Garcia, the cut man, and the person that does the hand wraps. Again, weird. What's taking place? I'm gonna get the quotes for you guys because, of course, his good guys over at Fight Hype were able to get this exclusive. Well, not good guys. Definitely Ben Thompson. So shout out to Ben. He got tons of behind the scenes footage. So that was pretty good. Pretty good. Let's see. I left a few messages for my good friends in the chat. I hope you got them. Also, we're gonna get to callers. We're gonna try and do this. I guess a little faster. I'm seeing the complaints. I'm trying to help, but at the same time, you got to remember, man, this show gets a lot of callers, and we appreciate every last one of you. So we're going to get to every last one. Some may hold longer than others. But the number to, kill yourself in line is 646-478-3068. Call in. Gabriel Rosado. He's been added to the Bernard Hopkins undercard versus Sergey Kovalev. Now, as if that card wasn't good enough with two of the best in the division facing each other, unification, something that we rarely get to see, and then we get James Kirkland and Gabriel Rosado. So, man, you can't complain about that. I mean, I don't think that you can. That's an excellent addition. I spoke to Gabe, and the fight is going to be at a catch weight of 157. I had a phenomenal interview with him, man. I mean, he opened up. If you like the Quillen, go check out the Rosado. It should be up. I'll probably put it up during the show because it was almost ready. But man, you guys should definitely check that out. So yeah, man, we got that. We got that to talk about. And it's just a lot, man, a lot. You know, we gotta address some of these guys, man, that take it upon themselves to go watch this fight. You know what we do got to talk about? We're gonna stay on Mayweather Madonna for a little bit. And we're gonna talk about the tickets. Our good friend Jose, Canadian Jose, he took the trip from Canada to Las Vegas, and he said that they were selling a lot of fake tickets out there, man. He said that people were crying. Pretty sure he's gonna come in because he's gonna call in because basically he was saying that like a family bought some tickets, and then everybody was crying. Now I don't know how bad can you feel for them because at the end of the day they bought some scalp tickets, right? Like, how can we feel that bad? But a lot of stuff to talk about, man. We gonna recap the TFG. I don't know what Jim Land.
Can you hear me?
I hear you absolutely, my friend. Don't you worry about it. We're gonna
All right. Dope.
We can totally recap the fight game, and we're gonna get into that as well. So of course we're gonna take callers 646-478-3068. Press 1 if you want to talk. Of course, we got to give many thanks to our sponsor on it and Audible. Definitely appreciate everybody that heads on over to the affiliate sponsors page and uses our affiliate link there so that we can keep the lights on, man. It's all about keeping the lights on and doing extra shows. Now, I'm going to definitely tell you, me and Mario are planning to do this fight game, episode 1. It has to be addressed, but depending on how many of you guys call in tonight, I guess we'll determine that. But we got to give away the Mayweather glove, guys. Oh, my God. Floyd Mayweather, what is he now, 47-0? So some guy
47.
is going to be very happy and was very lucky. And that person is Neil White. I believe is your name, Neil White. Let me just double check. But in the meantime, I'm going to bring on Mario. Like I said, it's been so long since he's been on and he's back.
What's up, man? Yeah, they talk about it was going to be a slow time from now till, November or October with Golovkin. But, man, we got so many things right now going on. Mayweather, shake-up, Ben Thompson, like you were talking about. That was huge. It was something that you could kind of expect, and you did the all-access preview, I remember. And I forgot who it was, but there was a caller that touched on it because I heard too, and I'm not like saying, oh, I have this great insight, but when he was talking about who's in his corner during fight camp, and he talked about Ellerby missing and, oh, he's not there as much, and I don't know, he sounded salty to me, in his voice and his demeanor, he just kind of seemed down on it, and you could kind of see the writing on the walls, and the fact that he wasn't in his corner, and Ellerby, people call him a cheerleader, people say a lot of negative things about him in terms of, him and Floyd, but at the end of the day, he's always been loyal to Floyd. Always. He's always been there for him. This doesn't come as a surprise because, like I said, Floyd has those tendencies to just shake the core of boxing at any point. But it is a surprise in a sense because of how close they've been. Ben Thompson interviewed Floyd Mayweather, like you talked about, who said, he'll be shaking things up and we can expect totally different team around him when he fights next May, leading many to believe that Leonard Ellerby will be, probably no longer with them, let go of Mayweather Promotions. Floyd said, and this is a quote from Ben Thompson's article, he said, "Once people start making power moves without communicating with me, then I think it's time for us to move our separate ways. I mean, I'm glad the fight is over with, but I think when May comes around," and he's talking about his fight in May 2015, when it comes around, I think you guys are going to see an all-access in May, and I'm going to have a totally different team, a totally new team, and probably a totally new staff. We may make a lot of changes in my team, but Al Heyman ain't going nowhere, and that's no surprise. Obviously, Al Heyman is the only non-interchangeable aspect of this whole scheme of this whole game plan. In fact, I think that not only is he not interchangeable, but he's going to be a pivotal role. And we've been saying this for weeks now. Twitter, Facebook, Ness's interview with Kid Chocolate. The moment I heard that, it's just something's going on, man. And for Ellerby to be, rumored leaving, for him to make the point of saying Heyman ain't going nowhere. Like, you don't, what I'm saying? Like, you say that for a reason. We know that Floyd expanded on Ellerby by saying, Leonard, I think we're just getting to the point where we're outgrowing each other. I think I just see things my way, and I think he sees things another way. For example, this time around when I went out and fought, my WBC and WBA titles in both weight classes were on the line, and I didn't approve of that at all. That's something I didn't approve of. Also, my daughter was sitting in the front row, and her mother was sitting next to her, so the ticket arrangements were totally different, or totally wrong. So he's just pointing out a bunch of little factors that, I guess have led him to the point where he feels like he has to make a change.
And now, here's Vic.
Guys, I think that's all hogwash. In my honest opinion, I think this clears the way for a logical path for Richard Schaefer to come back. You guys hear an echo? Is that me?
That is Mario with the echo.
Got you. I think that the writing's all there, man. I mean, come on, some guy's gonna get fired for tickets, and let's be real here. The only reason Floyd, put both titles on the line or whatever the hell it was, so he wouldn't have to face a mandatory, because his mandatory was coming due. People forget that. I'm not sure why exactly Ellerby's gone, but the outlining factor here is what he said at the end. Al Heyman ain't going nowhere. So Al Heyman and Richard Schaefer, they were like this, man. They did good business. I know he's got that non-compete clause, but how much is Floyd willing to pay for Richard Schaefer to run his company?
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt. We all know that he made it publicly clear that Richard Schaefer is the one that truly, brought Golden Boy where it's at, and that Richard would always have a job with him. So it comes as a surprise that Leonard allegedly isn't going to be there, because nothing has taken place. He spoke about May, so we don't know how soon this step down or straight firing of Ellerby was going to take place. So, but obviously, he wants Richard Schaefer. Obviously, you're not going to pay two people to do the same thing. I would assume that Ellerby would, fall back down to a minor role, because if we all remember, us hardcores know that this dude used to be a cornerman before he put on the suit. So, not a corner.
Well, he was part of security before he put on a suit too. Like,
well, there you go. He went from security
this guy
to the CEO. I mean, only in America, Don King says it the best. Only in America, right? But the point is, listen, man, if he shakes it up, doesn't shake it up, listen, that doesn't take away from this fight. And the fact that I think at this point we have to be upset. We have to be upset. I mean, look, I know some people enjoyed it, and I should be one of those guys that enjoyed it. And I probably would have if there wasn't any holding. But being as though that the holding was there, it ruins it for me, because normally I would enjoy a guy being able to outbox and outclass his man. But, it's just getting carried away at this point. He has too much power and makes too many concessions. Kenny Bellis went in there knowing what he had to do. He was initiating the clinch. I mean, he was predicting when the clinch was about to happen so that he can break it up. I mean, it was so much so that it felt as if he was playing hopscotch. If you ever seen a girl attempting to get inside those ropes. They're like bobbing in and out, and it's all because they're ready to get in the rope. And fucking Bayless was ready to ruin this fight. And every time he clinched and stopped the action, he ruined this fight. And I've had arguments with people already. Oh, well, he didn't. Maidana couldn't really put him on the ropes, but he did though. And when he did, he was not allowed to fight. It's unfair.
I want to make a point off of y'all's both points. Now, Vic, you make the point that people aren't getting fired for tickets, and Leonard Ellerby is not going to be let go because of certain aspects. Ness, you're talking about the fact that this news comes at a time able to overshadow a subpar fight or the entertainment value of this fight. Now, I'm going to combine both of y'all's points for a moment, okay? And I want to ask the question, how strategic is this? How far does this, foxhole go? Like, how long was this in the making? Is this a plan? Like, was this set in stone? Was this something? Because you're right, this isn't going to come out of nowhere because of tickets. So where did this plan originate? How far did this plan originate? And where does this decision land in the landscape and in the timeline between now and where we're going to be a year from now to this 2015, when all these supposed Mayweather promotions and Al Heyman deals are going to have to come to light? Everybody knows about the NBC deals and all these things going on in the background. Kid Chocolate walks away from money. Just all of these things are happening at a time in boxing when it's like what's happening, but at the same time you don't fully understand what's happening. Ness said a few weeks ago he had talked about the Kid Chocolate thing and what could be behind his motives. At that point, did we think that Ellerby wasn't going to be part of the equation? No. So how many of these things that are going on are predetermined? How long ago did they know that Ellerby wasn't going to be out? They're releasing this information at a very, very smart point. Okay, this is being executed. This is a game plan. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is just the dominoes falling one after another. And to me, I can't think that Ellerby knew about this. The way that he has been over the past month or 2 months, the way that he carried himself at the press conferences and all these things, and maybe not recently, but definitely when the fight got made and at the initial pressers, I cannot believe that he knew this was going to come. And I can't see him taking a diminished role at all, guys. You get that ego up there, you know what? I can't see him going back to head of security. I can't see him taking a smaller managerial role. I just can't.
J-Ro just tweeted me that he started as Hasim Rockman's strength and conditioning coach. I thought it was a security guy, but whatever. My bad. What I want to tell you guys, I heard a lot of stuff while I was in Vegas. Number one, I heard this was possibly in the works, but no one will confirm. So there goes that. But I also heard an interesting rumor about Kid Chocolate that Heyman gave Kid Chocolate $500,000 to drop the belt. And in his next fight, Kid Chocolate's going to make $1.5 million. So take that for what it's made. You want to say $1.4 million and he dropped the belt? There goes that. So, expect Kid Chocolate to be making bank in his next fight. Could be Danny Jacobs, or it could be the winner of Solomon Taylor next year or whenever it is. But I mean, this guy's controlling a lot of things, man, and I'm not trying to get racial or anything here, but most of the black urban fighters don't have contracts with Golden Boy, so shit's gonna hit the fan soon. Shit's gonna start happening next year. You're gonna see what the ultimate plan was for Al Heyman.
The interesting thing is that I pressed him on, did he take money? Was he given money in the meantime, right? And the reason that I've been pressing Heyman fighters on that question when things like this happen is because Bercero, who is not a Heyman fighter, but he slipped up because he's not a Heyman fighter. And he let me know that he was given money and no fight has happened yet. So is the normal. Same thing with Broner Maidana. We all know that after that ass whooping, that boy with that attitude and personality that he has, he wanted his rematch. We have to believe that. With all the shit that he's talked, and he still talks, we have to believe that he still and has always believed he was a badass. He don't think that comparison to Floyd and the fact that he's one of the very few that do 1 million plus on television isn't still deep within him. So he wanted that rematch, but he took some step aside.
I don't want to make this. I don't want to make this all about Heyman and us talking about propaganda or things that might happen or might not. But Vic said something super interesting, and then Ness's point about Bracero. So you were talking about what's that?
We lost you for a second there.
Oh, okay. Vic, you were talking about what they were saying, what things that you heard in Vegas, and the supposed money or whatever the deal might be for Kid Chocolate. Now, let me ask you a question. Is there any way that you can chalk this up to either ego or just bad decision making, or do you feel like what's going on, and using Kid Chocolate as an example, this is all part of a bigger scheme, like a strategic plan? Do you know what I'm saying? There's no way he's going to throw that money at him for nothing,
I mean, Al Heyman basically set a standard to Jay-Z, to whoever. If I don't want to work with you, that's that. You can throw $1.4 million at my fighter, but guess what? I'm going to give that dude $500,000 to drop the belt, and I'm going to pay him more money in his next fight. And either someone's going to buy it, whether it's going to be Steven Espinoza, because Steven Espinoza has bought every shit that Al Heyman's brought to his table this year, or it's going to be me, NBC Network, next year. He's going to front most of that money. All that stuff is going to be most out of pocket for him. He's banking on sponsorships. He's banking on, the app similar to WWE and all that other shit with the pay-per-view stuff. That's what I heard, and that's what I tend to believe, because why the hell would Kid Chocolate turn down $1.4 million in the long run?
It's fucking nuts.
And it goes to show you, who the most powerful guy in the sport is right now, when he's blocking fights that are even going to purse bids. I mean, even Gary Russell faced Lomachenko. Even Lara faced Vanez. But when it came to this Jay-Z shit, he's like, nah, bruh.
That's scary, man.
Well, the good thing is that this show and the talking points all are intertwined except for the Kirkland. That's just a badass fight that needs to be talked about. But, this is that I feel that this fight game with Jim Lampley, I believe that I've seen some videos out there that people have made criticizing it, and I can see that because they clearly had an agenda in this shit, in this fight game episode, and that agenda was to destroy Floyd Mayweather. And I think that is cruel and unfair of them. They don't even have business with him, and they basically wasted a lot of time trying to make him look bad. So much so that they brought in a female. I don't even know who she is, but they brought in a female to make it okay to call him a woman beater, because it would sound like a bunch of bitch-ass niggas in a room talking about another dude if it was just men, because that ain't got nothing to do with what that man does inside the ring. But because he is so good, they want to defeat him in any fucking way that they can. It's sad at this point. What took place over there, listen, I wanted the sound bites for this shit so that it could be fresh in your mind. What was said about him?
I remember everything. Dude. I mean, Jim Lampley, obviously he wouldn't say that shit if Floyd was on HBO. And Jim Lampley himself has had troubles in the past with domestic abuse or whatever it's called. 3 years ago, I read articles on it. But what had to be said had to be said. And I'm not saying, that Jim Lampley should be the one to be saying it, but it had to be said. And I understand where he's coming from, man, because there's frustrations with Floyd Mayweather. You want him to fight this guy. You want him to fight that guy. And I know people on Twitter can't wait till this guy retires because it just opens up a lot of things and more fights. That being said, I don't know if I want to see Floyd retire, that soon, but a lot of people do. And what Jim Lampley said was either pro, yeah, I want Mayweather to retire, or if you're a Floyd Mayweather fan, yeah, you ain't shit, Jim, because you weren't yourself in a domestic dispute, and you fucking when he was there doing 1.5 million with Cotto because he was going to jail right after that, you ain't mentioned none of that.
Listen, my thing is, first of all, we all know Mayweather was sandbagged into those statements. They put cameras and microphones in his face and asked him purposely about that because his past is about that. So they want to keep the Ray Rice story fresh in your mind. You know what I'm saying? So why not attach another celebrity to it who also has that background? And let's fucking just destroy this man.
But he didn't have to say it, though. He didn't have to say what he said. You know what I mean? They could keep it fresh, and I understand what you're saying. He didn't have to say that.
Who are we? Person.
But who advises Mayweather? Who advises Mayweather to take an interview with Rachel Nichols on CNN?
That was someone dropped.
Whoever did that. I mean, if that was Ellerby, then yeah, he should be fired because he looked like a fucking moron in that interview. A fucking moron. If that was Kelly Swanson, I'm not sure how she still has a job. I mean, this is CNN, dude. You look like a fucking moron in that interview.
Yo, you're right. No, look, check it out. That you right there, Vic just, slammed the door shut. Ellerby that did that. That's why he's getting fired. Fuck tickets. Like, that was the most brutal thing I've seen in a long time. I agree with you, Ness, 100%. They brought this, what's her name in? I forgot her name. She's done ESPN stuff, and I've seen her.
Michelle Beadle.
Michelle Beadle. Okay, so they bring her in because of what? Because they wanted somebody to capture the captivating character and charisma that is Terrence Crawford. What the fuck was that? They brought in this chick to do the most boring interview in the history of HBO. Okay, it was terrible. I agree with you.
It was on purpose. The chick says she's never even seen Golovkin fight. Did you catch that at the end?
Exactly, and you know this, and so I agree with you to that extent. But Vic is absolutely right. Just because it seems like sour grapes, just because it seems like they're just trying to downplay the competitor, it doesn't make what he said untrue, and that's the truth.
What did he say? What did he say for the listeners that don't know?
Well, I wish you had sound bites because even though it is fresh, I would love to quote him directly. But the thing at the end that he said,
look for it. We'll get back to that because I just want to let everyone know listening that Neil White won the Floyd Mayweather glove. That is confirmed, and also that, like Mario indicated, like I indicated, Vic said the same thing. This woman was brought here as the secret weapon, so to speak. Not that she was good, because I laughed. It's funny that they took a different approach to the Terrence Crawford interview. I fucking laughed out loud. LOL, bitches, because I knew how Terrence Crawford is in the interview.
You were the first person. No, the Boxing Voice had him on right when he got the what was it? The fight with the boy that knocked him. Prescott. Yeah. Oh my God, I remember that was one of the funniest shows. Not because Terrence Crawford, but because of all the callers that called in afterwards that were just absolutely livid with how boring he was. But look, I want to get back to it real quick, Ness. I found it.
Mario,
yeah.
You better be going on the Boxing Voice because there is an article with all the quotes in it.
Yeah, I got it right here. Okay, so look. So I'm just going to read it straight out. I don't know which one's going to make my point. Floyd Mayweather long ago made clear, and this is Jim Lampley from his HBO rant. Floyd Mayweather long ago made clear that he isn't trying to please the entire available audience, and through the concentrated money harvest of pay-per-view distribution, he has convincingly established that he can do it his way, generate a kind of appeal that not all of us will understand, and attract an income that outdistance those of polite golfers and friendly, smiling auto racers. Some would say more power to him. But if the goal is to push the limits of public taste to the point where the overwhelming preponderance of consumers simply wash their hands and want nothing to do with him or his fights, his blithe comment to the effect that the NFL was overreacting on the videotape suspending Ray Rice was probably a pretty good start, and his garbled apology did little to remove the stench.
I gotta interrupt you. I'm looking for what Mayweather said, not fucking Lampley.
Oh, okay. See, but that's my point, though. But that's my point. Going back to what Vic said, it doesn't matter at the end of the day if it appears to be sour grapes. It doesn't make it not true. It doesn't make what Jim Lampley said at the end of the day not true. I agree it's sour grapes, and I agree that it was a weak position for them to take for the entire show to focus on the domestic violence. It's you know. You're gonna feel how you're gonna feel about it at this point. That's just the way it is. But at the end of the day, his inability to entertain us in the ring has, it's done. I'm done with him. I'm done. He could have retired 2 fights ago.
Here's my thing. A lot of people are saying it. A lot of people are gonna say that they're done. But if those numbers are true, and I'm skeptical of them, they could be true. I mean, Ioli is a well-respected guy. So is Lance Pugmire. But I've seen other reports where it's been 600K. But if those numbers are true, 925,000 in a pay-per-view in a fight, a lot of people didn't really care to see. An undercard that was fucking trash. Well, then guess what, Jim Lampley? He's gonna keep doing what he's gonna keep doing.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that article could be found on Yahoo. So that's where I mean, Vic probably has his own sources, but that's where I knew that allegedly the pay-per-view did 925, which is
it's a great fucking number for that card.
Well, real quick, look, I have it real quick just so we can, hit it and get it out of the way. It was Mayweather Maidana. Kevin Ioli is reporting that Mayweather Maidana pay-per-view did 925,000 buys. This is an excerpt from his report. So this is a quote from his actual article. A source who has been generally reliable on such numbers confirmed that Mayweather's rematch with Marcos Maidana on Saturday at the MGM Grand Garden sold 925,000 pay-per-views. That is 25,000 better than their May fight, which sold roughly 900,000. Again, those are speculative numbers.
Yeah, but again, those numbers are the same numbers that made Leonard Ellerby not want to release, and then push them so far so that they said they will never release unless the numbers are basically astronomical.
That's sad because those aren't bad numbers.
They're not. They're absolutely not, especially in a day and age when MMA is suffering in pay-per-view. Manny Pacquiao is suffering in pay-per-view. Now, granted, I'm going to get you hardcores to call in and say, oh, it's the site fee. Okay, whatever. Americans are still Americans, so I don't get it. Why wouldn't we keep buying it? Because that's clearly where he's suffering. I mean, I don't know, 400 or 500 that he's doing. He did what, 800 or almost 800 for Bradley?
Yeah,
that's not bad either. That's not bad. I didn't even know that till recently. Like, if I did know that, I forgot it. But that's not bad. But all right, we've chalked it up a lot. We've touched on our points. We haven't gotten to Rosado Kirkland, but we'll leave it for the end. You know the number 646-478-3068. Let's get into it, man. We're gonna go with the first caller, 623. You're live on the Boxing Voice. Who's this?
What's going on, Ness? It's Alden from Arizona. How you doing, man?
What's up, brother? Talk to me.
Not much. Regardless of everything was going on with Floyd, I think Leonard was always inept to a certain degree. Because if you think about it, I mean, he wasn't at the corner. I mean, I didn't pick up on it, but he wasn't at the corner. I think he always was inept to a certain degree. And with the whole, I think he's going to eventually get replaced with Schaefer. Now, I know he has an agreement with Golden Boy that he can't not compete. But I'm going to tell you something. I'm probably the only caller with a legal background. And it depends on the years of the California agreement. So the years, for example, because he has 6 years, I think, until 2018. So it depends. If the state says, it's too long, he could get out of that. That's why they're in arbitration settlement right now. So probably what's going to happen is Golden Boy is just going to pay him out to get out, and then he's going to be going over to Mayweather Promotions, which we all saw happen. And, I mean, and with Lampley, what are you going to say? I mean, I kind of agree with you guys have been saying already. And with the Rosado fight, something. I mean, he seems like a good guy, down to earth. So hopefully he can pull over a victory. I mean, what do you think, man?
Rosado, I want him to pull it off, but I mean, I can't wait to upload this fucking interview. I sent it over to YouTube, so let's see if it's ready because I challenge. Listen, I'm gonna put you on hold because you got like chickens fighting in the background over there. Oh, that's Beeb actually. Damn. Beeb, you're out of control in the background, brother. Actually, I'm gonna let you go ahead and say your piece, and then we'll put you back on mute because I don't know, it's crazy back there. Beeb, you there?
Yeah. I don't know. Can I speak for a sec?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Go ahead and state your piece because you got really bad background noise.
Yeah, I do have background, but I was hoping it wouldn't be too bad. I want to read the quote the original quote from Mayweather, because that's in the article that we have on the site too. What he said when he was asked a question about Ray Rice, he said, they said they suspended him for 2 games. I believe a person should stick to their word, whether they've seen the video or not. I truly believe a person should stick to their word. If you tell me you're going to do something, you should do what you said you were going to do. But once again, I'm not in the NFL, so I can't really speak on the situation, but I wish everyone nothing but the best. So, and then when he was asked to apologize, he said, I'm trying to become a better person each and every day. No one is perfect. That's up to the NFL to handle the situation, how they want to handle the situation. So, I mean, to be perfectly honest, he was making light of the situation, but again, I think his comments were taken out of context and they were blown way out of proportion. And there is some, I can understand, there is a feeling that people felt as though he was unsympathetic to the life of Ray Rice, or the girlfriend of Ray Rice, whatever you want to call it. But I think they took it and they ran with it and they blew it right up. And Lampley, it was just too convenient for him at that time on that show to say what he said, because as Vic and Mario alluded to, Mayweather's been on that network for a long time. All that baggage was hanging over Mayweather's head for a long time, and it was never brought up to the extent it was brought up on Wednesday. So I just find it too convenient, find it very hypocritical, because the allegations hanging over Lampley's head, he did some really crazy things to his fiance. I guess she said he was drunk. She said he banged her head up against the wall, threw her on the ground. So he's no angel either. And so conveniently, that got swept underneath the rug because he's Jim Lampley. But Floyd Mayweather has the target on his back, so obviously they're going to blow away out of proportion. So it was just too convenient. It was too hypocritical on his part. And he was the wrong person to say what he said. Could have been someone else. He's not the poster boy to speak out against domestic violence, since he has a charge. And he fought his way or beat his way out of it, because he should have done some jail time for what he did. He was actually on probation for 4 years for what he did. So he was convicted of what he did.
Yeah, but again, he was set up. They asked him the question purposely.
Oh, absolutely, because they knew they knew he had a past, so they were trying to tie his past in with the Ray Rice situation. And it was a smear attack. There's no question about that. You're 100% right on that. Right. And then, again, agreeing with what Mario said, or I think Vic said it as well, who's the idiot that booked him for that CNN interview? That's like putting a target on his back and sending him out in the line of fire, man. That's like putting an orange cone on him and sending him out there on a firing range. I mean, it made no sense to have him to ever do that interview. It was ridiculous. And another thing I agree with, this whole thing of moving LOB out was in the works for a while. Richard Schaefer, was conveniently at the fight as a guest, sitting close by to Mayweather's team and everything. Everything is just too convenient. We kind of suspected a lot of this stuff was going to go on. And regardless of what Peter Cohen said, I'm sure you're an intelligent person. You suspected that he got paid something. He's not going to just walk away and have nothing. I mean, he just had a baby. He's married. So he's gonna miss a payday and not get nothing in his pocket. People have been paying, like, goes back to when Tyson was when Lennox Lewis was originally Tyson's mandatory way back when. They paid Lennox Lewis they paid Lennox Lewis $3 million to step aside, so Tyson didn't have to fight him. So this step aside stuff is nothing new. $500,000 is a good amount of money, but again, Tyson opponents, Lennox Lewis was paid $3 million to step aside when he was originally the mandatory back in the early 2000s. So nothing new, and of course, Cohen's not going to tell you everything behind the scenes, and I wouldn't expect him to because he's advised not to. So he got paid that money. I strongly suspect. Obviously, I don't have the facts behind it, but I think he got paid that money, and I think his next fight, he's probably going to get 1.4 or more. Because there's no other reason why he would take that deal. He had to have been rewarded. And it's so funny when you talk about guys like Heyman and Mayweather because they don't act off of business. They act off of person. They're making decisions based off their personal feelings. They're holding grudges with people. And at the end of the day, they're making the money now. But when Mayweather retires, what's Heyman going to do? He still has all those fighters, but he has to put them on a network. And HBO does not like Heyman. And what's Showtime going to do when they can't use Floyd? He can't use Floyd as a bargaining chip anymore. So they're setting themselves up good short term.
Yeah,
what's
but
going to happen in the long run?
What about the $21 million that he gave NBC Sports Network for 41 dates?
Well, that's all well and good, but would you rather be on HBO or would you rather be on NBC Sports? I don't know.
Well,
I don't know
again,
if NBC Sports is really willing to commit. Really willing to commit, number one, and number two, they haven't been doing boxing for a long time. Can they put on a production as well as HBO? Can they do that?
Well, did you not watch any of the NBC's? Because he I'm assuming took Kathy Duva's deal. So did you not watch fights?
I'm just not so sure the logistics behind that deal, and I don't know what NBC Sports is actually going to give him. I don't know if they're going to give him all those dates. I don't know what the situation's going to be. But the thing is this. What if just like speak hypothetical, what if they do get those dates? Will those fighters get the same exposure on NBC Sports as they would on HBO? Because people go to HBO on Saturday night.
Remember, Tyson Fury and Steve Cunningham did what? 3 or 4 million? Viewers.
I'm not so sure. I don't know the numbers.
Viewers.
I mean, if you say that, I have to take your word for it.
Oh yeah, they did 3 or 4 million viewers.
So you think that going over to NBC Sports is going to trump what they could have done at HBO or Showtime? I mean, I don't know.
Not necessarily, but I'm saying, think about it. He's bringing big-time boxing back to free television.
So what you're saying is that's going to be his avenue moving forward, and that's his future plan, and he's going to look to capitalize on that.
Listen, I don't speculate unless I tell you that I am. What I'm telling you is, based off what we know, that he has 41 dates, and a couple of days ago, he had 115 fighters, but he just signed Sergio Mora. So now we're going to be forced to watch Sergio Mora on TV, but that's a whole nother fucking show. The point is, he may have more now. Beeb, I got to mute you, brother. He may have more now than 115, Mario. How would NBC fail? Because let's assume, listen, we all think he's a bad guy right now, but allow yourself. I'm not, one, a conspiracy theorist, and two, I like to dream and wish. Didn't I just pick Maidana? Don't I always pick the underdog? Didn't I used to like Al Heyman? So again, let's think with a bigger picture here. What if he's doing exactly what we think, getting his fighters off of their contracts by putting them in with stiffs so that they don't get a loss, right? And then he goes over to NBC and he gives us what we know he can give us. He's given it to us. He gave us a taste. So at least you guys should be subjective. We shouldn't be quick to, hang this guy or out him because we know what he's capable of. We do know that. There is evidence of the Garcia Matisse. Is it a long time ago? Yes. But there is evidence of Trout fighting Canelo. That doesn't have to be Heyman. It's still Heyman putting his guy in a dangerous fight.
But the problem is this, and you're right. I love your point, because that's the one thing I tried to consider the other day when we had the conversation about Quillen. I mean, that interview, I say it to this day, the things that he didn't say on that interview scare me the most. And at the end of the day, what I take away from that is, you know, something's going to happen, and I think Al Heyman's going to get even more power than he already has over what matches can be made and what matches can't be made. Okay, so you're saying this, but my problem is that we do know what he's capable of. You're absolutely right, and we know that he has sabotaged the biggest matches in boxing over the span of the last 5-6 years. We know that he's capable of completely dogging out a fight. Look, forget what Mayweather says. If Al Heyman wanted to make Mayweather Pacquiao, I have no doubt he could do it. I think that he either doesn't want to, or for him it's just a power play again. I mean, look, I would consider Quillin a big favorite in that fight with Korbarov, but at the end of the day, that's a power play. Why couldn't Quillin take the 1.4 million and fight, because he's not going to fight for the rest of the year anyway, and then come into 2015 with Danny Jacobs or whoever it is already on his agenda? He says Korbarov doesn't fit into his agenda. He doesn't fit into Al Heyman's agenda. At the end of the day, he could have taken the fight. He could have made the money and then continued down the path that he was already going. I mean, you know, if he believes he can win at the end of the day, it's just ludicrous to me. So for me, I think that we do know what he's capable of, both from the side of how powerful he can be, and also how vindictive and how ballsy in terms of making power plays he can be. Egotistical, I think, is just the best way to phrase it, and that's exactly what Vic said.
See, the thing is, you guys are a little soft. This dude is nothing more than a shrewd businessman. There's no feelings involved. There's only dollar signs. And when, listen, you know, for all my hood niggas, when you go take over the block, you don't have to shoot people up if you are the person, the only person that can deliver the product. And everyone else who's out there trying to distribute the same thing that you're distributing, he's buying up all their product so that they can't go and re-up. He signed Sergio Mora, for God's sakes. I don't even think that it's intentional anymore. I think he's saying to himself, I'm getting everybody till there's nobody. You understand what I'm saying? I'm getting everyone till there's no one else that Golden Boy and Top Rank and Lou DiBella and all those guys can sign. He's taking fighters from Warriors Boxing now. Half of you guys listening don't even know who the fuck Warriors Boxing is. And he got Rancy Bartholomew. He just picked up Vanez from Goosen, a dude that was dropped from Top Rank. Like, think about it. He's picking up everything. He's picking up the A side, the B side, and the fucking C side. Think about it. You're mad now, but what's going to happen when he has everybody? What's shocking to me is that he hasn't signed fucking Rigondeaux. I can't believe it.
It's illogical to me that you can... I mean, he can't do it, though. He can't sign everyone that we'd want to see fight. I mean, the Top Rank, he can't come in at a time and just disband Golden Boy and Top Rank's influence. And if he could, more power to him. That would be awesome. I would be all in favor of it. Not because I dislike Top Rank or Golden Boy, not at all. Just because I want people to fight each other with no politics, all that aside. But at the end of the day, it would come down to a point where he would sign everybody that he could, and he still wouldn't have Bradley, he still wouldn't have Pacquiao, he still wouldn't have Canelo, he still wouldn't have a laundry list of fighters that make the sport interesting.
Let me ask you something. Whose menu is better when we're 2 years removed and Bradley's fought Pacquiao 6 more times, he fought Marquez 4 times, Alvarado and Rios is going on Rios Alvarado 10. Like, come on, my man. They don't have, if they run out of fight, listen, you're about to get Jesse Vargas again. I mean, that motherfucker is active. You know why? Because they don't have no one. You're getting Jesse Vargas. What he fought 3 times this year?
I think so, yeah.
And And after winning the belt, this is his second defense of the same year?
It'll be the third, right?
Well, there you go. Either they don't want him with the title, or fuck, they believe in Jesse Vargas, and I don't know. I haven't seen anything that indicates that he is going to keep winning unless he is placed in the right fights. He has been struggling when he shouldn't.
So we wait 10 years for all these guys that Top Rank and Golden Boy have invested in to retire or just give up, and then Heyman. But for me, that's just I don't know. I'm not satisfied with that.
Again, do you want to watch the Lauras, the Gary Russells, the everybody? I mean, you know who the fuck he got. Or do you want to watch Jose Ramirez, Jojo Diaz? And look, I'm not saying they're not good. I'm not saying that, but that's all they got. Like you're gonna have to invest in the development of their fighters.
And that's the biggest issue, though, is because Jojo Diaz will become a player one day. Jose Ramirez will become a player. Oscar Valdez, all these people will be a player, and they're gonna cut off the line again.
But how? No. How is he gonna be a player? You know what he's gonna be? He's gonna be a Carl Frampton for a very long time, because he's gonna beat the guys that he can beat. And he's not going to fight none of the guys on that side of the track that are very good. Because in that division, what is Jojo Diaz? 122, right?
Yeah, 122, I think.
Okay.
But that's my point. How are the best fights made in the world? Kovalov, people still say he hasn't fought anybody. I mean, that's what happens is these people make their names and they destroy these, lesser fighters, these middle to lower tier fighters, and then we're calling for it. We're like, oh my God, I want to see, Kovalov and Stevenson. I want to see. I mean, that's how boxing is produced in terms of stars or in terms of matchups. We want to see these guys. Once upon a time, Marvin Hagler had nobody on his resume, but he was killing people, and that was the biggest point to it all, is that these guys, you're right, they're not going to be fighting guys on one side that are in a much better stable, but at the end of the day, somebody's going to come out of that of that Golden Boy or Top Rank under tier division of prospects and emerge, and we're gonna want to see that fight. And
I'm not saying that we're not, but regardless, we will be heavily entertained the way that we were in 2013.
I hope so.
I mean, again, assuming that you want to be optimistic and believe that what he gave you in 2013, he can replicate as long as he gets to the position that he feels he needs. But again, I'm going to take these callers, and we're going to get to numerous callers back to back. But I just want to remind you, if there's no fighters out there, I don't know. 6619, you're live. Who's this?
So,
Ali, what up, brother?
Yeah, what's up, man? I want to say I do think that this does open the door for Richard Schaefer with Ellerby being gone. And if that is true, I think that puts a nail in the coffin for a Pacquiao-Mayweather fight. Even if I know Al Heyman is his advisor, but I think he'll listen to both guys, and I just think because we all know Bob Arum and Schaefer don't get along, I don't think that fight will happen if Richard Schaefer is a part of the money team.
Well, I mean, yeah, no, I'm here, Ali. The thing is, at this point, we really just gotta wait to see what Schaefer can do, because we just don't know. I mean, I know we had a caller just called in, said he has a legal background, and he said that it depends on the year, but again, we still need to know that year and wait on that year. So I don't know. All I know is that things are happening, and I know we've been very tired already at this point of what's been taking place, and we're fed up, and some of us are saddened, some of us are hurt, but this year is almost over. Clearly, something is going to happen in 2015. If it continues in this way, then I just don't know, like Mario said how long this plan has been in play. Are they just acting irrationally then? Because I'm assuming 2015 NBC Sports Network, they're going to kick it off and we're going to see the dominoes start to fall. But Ali, I'm going to get to some other callers. Thank you for calling in. And we're going to run down this line here. 925, you're live on the Boxing Voice. Who's this? 925. All right, you just want to listen. I'll come back. We got some alumni up.
Introducing the hard-hitting ringside Robbie.
Hey guys, great show as always. And for those that are complaining about them not getting on the air, just be lucky that we have this outlet to actually talk about boxing. Don't worry about how long you have to be on hold. Just enjoy the fact that we're here. And you got to support this show. And it doesn't do any good to complain. I mean, where else can we talk about boxing? Remember the Tyson Fury-Stephen Cunningham fight was on regular NBC TV. Remember, NBC Sports has two divisions. They can put the fight either on regular NBC TV, like on a Saturday afternoon, or they can stick it on NBC Sports Network whenever they want. And, of course, NBC Sports Network is only on cable. So it depends on how this 41-date deal is structured. How many dates has he been given for regular NBC Sports, and how many dates has he been given for NBC Sports Network? We don't know the ins and outs of how the contract is structured, so it'll be interesting to see when these dates are when they start putting on these fights, what network they're actually going to be
Robbie,
on.
Let me ask you a quick question since you're a historian here, and the only guy that could take down the Beeb is Robbie. Beeb is claiming that Don King had over 115 fighters signed to him.
That is correct. He's right about that.
Robbie, you know what? You're no longer my friend. I don't believe you or Beeb.
Well, I'm sorry to tell you, Ness, but he's absolutely right about that. In the 80s and 90s, Don King dominated the sport of boxing. The only one that could compete with him back then was Bob Arum, and Al Heyman.
Listen,
basically
I'm making a call to action to Nelta and J-Ro, my other two true historians who only bring facts. Please back me up on this. Did Don King have 115 fighters?
Me and Beeb are almost the same age. I'm going to be 50 years old here next month. I've been following this sport ever since I was a kid. I'm not going to lie to you. You ask me a question, I'm going to tell you yes or no.
I don't know.
Right now,
you don't have any facts in front of you, Robbie. I'm sorry. I can't believe you. You need more people.
Fine. But Beeb is absolutely right about that. Whether you want to believe it or not, that's not my problem.
Okay.
I believe Robbie though, honestly, because that sounds about right. I mean, you got to think about all the divisions and how many fighters were fighting at that point, and the amount of cards he was putting on. If there were no other outlets, I mean, Golden Boy didn't exist. Main events I think wasn't even super relevant until.
What was super relevant anyway.
No. I'm not saying at that time though. Coming into the cornerstone of the '80s to the '90s, it wasn't until I think mid '90s. I think.
Here come Beeb is about to come on and dominate. I want facts. I want him to read something. I don't want him just to blab away.
Don King had the top 10 of the heavyweight division all under his banner at one point in time, had all three heavyweight champions. Okay? This has been done before. One man tried to take over boxing before and failed. You mentioned NBC Sports Network. So what are they going to do? Counter program HBO and Showtime now? It's just, it doesn't behoove boxing to have one man try to run the whole show. It's not the same type of platform that UFC is. It just can't be done. There's just too many divisions. Number one, too many fighters, too many sanctioning bodies. So one man is not going to control the whole sport. It's been tried before, and it failed. Don King tried it. And then there's guys before Don King that have tried it. The Mob tried to take over boxing back in the 40s and 50s and the 30s. Boxing is just too big. You're being overly grandiose here in your opinion or your vision, thinking that Al Heyman is going to run this sport and be successful long term. At some point in time, he's going to have to work with promoters. He doesn't have a promoters like us. If you think Mayweather Promotions is going to be the next Top Rank or the next Golden Boy, I think not. I don't care if they're or not. They don't have the talent. They don't have the talent to be the next Golden Boy. They don't have the talent to be the next Top Rank. And they don't have the ability to sustain all those fighters. He signed too many fighters. He bit off more than he can chew, and at the end, he's going to fail.
Beeb makes you made excellent points, and oh my bad.
I'm sorry, Amara.
No.
You can do one Saturday, right? You can have an NBC Sports card on. You can have a Showtime card on. You can have a Fox Sports card on, or you can have an HBO card on, and everyone's going to go crazy with their DVRs. It's just not going to work, guys. Be realistic about it.
No, you know what though? Hold on real quick, Ness. You know the thing that Beeb says that makes even more sense. I mean, he alluded to it, and I just kind of want to highlight it. The thing that he said about all of those promoters and the efforts that have been made in the past to kind of do this. The one thing that you have to remember is every single one of them had the cash cow or a cash cow. They had somebody to be the marquee guy. And a year from now, I mean, if you believe him, I have my reservations. But if the continuance of Floyd's, degradation and the loss of appeal and the fact that he's just going to be out of the sport eventually comes to fruition, it's going to be really hard for Heyman to attract these mainstays. Now, if he can give us Garcia and Broner on the same card of, I don't know, what's another fight that he can make that, I don't know, Hopkins, Stevenson. Just if he can put a stack card together, then that'll be great. But it still won't be the same as having Mayweather or Pacquiao or Canelo or De La Hoya or Tyson or Chavez on the top of a card. It won't duplicate the same results. So, everything Beef said is absolutely 100 correct. I believe him when he says that this has been attempted before. I was a little young at that point with the Don King Wars and Arum and stuff. Actually wasn't even born in the heavyweight era. But I will say that, he's right. I mean, where's Don King now? Like, if he had the reins, he would have kept them, and he couldn't because he couldn't suffice.
Beeb always brings up Don King, and you and a bunch of other listeners always gobble that bullshit up, right? Because here's the difference between Don King and Al Heyman. No one has sued Al Heyman. Where are the fighters that are upset? Where are they? No, I'll tell you what he has, Mario, that you should be believing in. He has fighters that go on record and say they got a handshake when they vacated their title. Okay? They are loyal to him, and clearly he is very, very good to them.
I'll make this point to you and use a street reference. We're both hip hop fans. There's, rule number 1 is you don't marry Robin Givens, but rule number 2 is you don't let the money, you don't let the power consume you at the end of the day. You don't try to bite off more than you can chew. The reason why people aren't suing Heyman, the reason why everyone has everything great to say about Heyman is because he's been a manager up until this point, and he's been a manager that's been willing to take the lowest percentage out of all the other managers, something like 10% for most of those fighters, 15% tops. He's given everything he can at that point because he's limited in his role as a manager. Now, if he comes into this 2015 boxing calendar and he is more than a manager, trust me, the lawsuits will start flying off the hinges because he hasn't had to make a mistake right now, but he can and he will eventually make a mistake when he's trying to bite off more than he can chew. It's simple.
Yeah, because his track record indicates that he's not capable of hiring capable people.
His track record has nothing to do with promotion, so I can't say one way or the other.
Hey, but why would you assume that he's going to be the promoter or he's going to make the decisions or run the day-to-day operation?
I have a strong inclination that what we're going to see come 2015 is an Al Heyman that is more involved with the sport than he's ever been. He can't hide like the Wizard of Oz anymore. He can't pull the strings behind the look, he's already gotten so close now. You talk about not being sued, but he was almost sued, right? For exactly those points.
Mario, you're failing to realize that if we go, because we're speaking hypothetical, right? You're failing to realize that if he takes all his fighters to Mayweather Promotions, he doesn't have to be a promoter.
Okay, and I'm telling you, I don't think the buck stops there. From everything that we've been hearing, from the interviews that you've been getting, and I don't like to speculate, I don't like to gossip, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I just think that from everything that we know and everything that we've seen, and how fast he's continued to move, I don't think the buck stops there. I really don't. I don't think he's going to say, here you go, Mayweather. Here you go, Richard Schaefer. I set this all up for you. Now have fun. I'm going to continue with my 10%. Fuck that. He's going to get paid. He's trying to get paid.
Listen, I'm not saying that he's saying that, but why wouldn't he have some fucking back deal percentage? You know?
I don't think that's enough. It's not enough. He's got to have some sort of major stake, major claim in all of the efforts that he's putting forward. And getting a percentage of a one-time deal or a yearly deal, it's not enough. He's got to have some sort of main control, because why do all this? I mean, is he just fucking with us?
Apparently he's doing it. Let's get to the streets because we keep ignoring. 718, you're live. Who's this?
Okay, how you doing? This is Suleiman.
Suleiman, what up, brother?
Is this Al Heyman, right? Is he signing any talent that any new fighters? I mean, because most of the fighters he's signing up is talent that was developed somewhere else. Is he getting any fighters like when it's...
No, he signed the whole Olympic class, man. Every African American fighter he signed on that Olympic class, and maybe Bazile. I don't know. Maybe he's not African American, but whatever. He got signed too. He signs prospects too, man. He's got a bunch of prospects in D.C. We seen Dominic Wade. That's one. It don't matter if he is or isn't good. Again, if there's no fighters for your fighter to fight, what does Top Rank do when they've done a toss salad 30 times already? It's a Royal Rumble at this point, Mario.
He just signed that Puerto Rican.
Royal Rumble.
He just signed that Puerto Rican prospect the other day.
What is it? Ricardo Pichon or something.
I have no idea how to say his name.
Yeah, we got an interview on the YouTube channel with him. He definitely also Puerto Rican dude, undefeated prospect. Yeah, so Suleiman, to answer your question, yes, he's signing everything he could get his hands on. That's what it looks like to me.
That's great. That's great. Thanks. That's good. That he's good for the sport then.
All right, brother. Well, let me get to some other callers then.
We'll see.
Now, that was a fresh perspective. That's not a guy that follows the Al Heyman, and he doesn't mind it, right? So, you see, we get fresh perspectives with the Boxing Voice. 414, you're live. Who's this?
What's happening? That's Scotty from Milwaukee.
Scotty, what's going on, brother?
All right, two quick things. One, like any monopoly, it's bad for consumers. So if Al Heyman gets everybody, that's bad for boxing fans. It's just that simple. No monopoly is ever good for consumers. That's just going to be horrible.
Great point.
The thing is, I did a little research on Boxing Rec the other day, and with that whole Kenny Bayless Mayweather thing, I said this on the call before the Mayweather fight, that the best referee for a Mayweather fight would be Steve Smoger, because he'll let you fight on the inside. He's probably the best referee when it comes to staying out of the way and letting people work themselves out of a clinch, and he's very, very minimal in his activity. He has only ref one Mayweather fight, and it was at the very, very beginning of Floyd's career. So to tell me that Floyd doesn't have a say in who refs his fight is absolutely ridiculous. He's got so much pull, and between him cherry-picking his fighters, putting deep demands on people like you can't wear these gloves or you can't do this, can't do that. I mean, I know he's talented, but the best ever is a joke, in my opinion, man. That's all I got.
All right, Scotty, thanks for calling in. 973, you're live. Who's this?
Yo, this is just Ozzy.
Just Ozzy, what up?
What's going on, bro? Let me just say something about dude that just called in. He's talking about monopolies aren't good for boxing. Like, we don't have a monopoly now, and what's it leading us to? Not getting the fights that we don't have. So I'm taking, if he does monopolize the sport of boxing, it could only lead to the fights that we want. And if he has all these fighters, all these new prospects that want to be great are going to sign with the guy who has all the fighters with the belts and all that. They're not going to want to sign to a promotional company that has nobody for them to fight, really. So the more he signs, the better it'll be all for him.
Not to mention, just Ozzy, don't forget to mention that you got over 115 fighters constantly thanking Al Heyman on big stages, and then on littler stages giving you details as to how content and happy they are since they signed to Al Heyman. Go look at an Ellie Setback video with John Molina. John Molina's never been this happy in his life.
That's what I'm saying. Like Don King, he still could have been on top if he would have, not did his fighters dirty. It wasn't his downfall wasn't the fact that he wasn't putting on the best fights. His downfall was that he was a sneaky motherfucker to his fighters. He was playing them dirty. But obviously the fighters don't have an issue like that with Heyman. They're all happy. They're all getting buku's amounts of money, and they getting fights when they want, and he's hooking it up. But I don't see it as a bad thing. If it happens, let it happen. But I want to touch on the Ellerby situation. What I heard as far as those power moves he was making and stuff, what I heard is that he was sleeping with that chick Nicole Craig, and he hired her to be the VP of Mayweather Promotions, a job that pays $250,000 a year, and Mayweather, he didn't okay that, but Ellerby went ahead and did it. So pretty much he was, paying for, his sexual desires in a way. And another thing I heard is that he had Floyd's grandma in the lobby till about the 8th round. All the TMT fighters had tickets to the show, but only up into the Leo Santa Cruz fight. And it's just a bunch of nonsense that they said he was doing. And, it's pretty much shaking up Floyd, and I guess he's getting tired of it. And I also heard that Floyd had let him go twice previously, but brought him back. So I don't know the truth behind all this, but the person that I heard this from was the person that had told me that the shakeup was coming before the shakeup news broke. And he's a pretty reliable source as far as when it comes to Mayweather's camp. And like, if this is true and Heyman is doing all the stupid shit, like he's letting his power get to his head and he's hiring people without Floyd's consent, then yeah, he deserves to be fired, because pretty much.
You meant Ellerby. You meant Ellerby, because the second time around you said Heyman by mistake.
Oh well, yeah, Ellerby, my fault. But yeah, they say he's sleeping with this chick and he gave her the VP job and stuff, and it's ridiculous if he's actually doing all this, because he's letting his judgment be clouded by fucking his broad. So I don't know how true this is, but the person that was saying it, he's pretty reliable. Like I said, he said that the shakeup was coming before the news broke, and it actually broke after he had said it. And that was, just one of many things he has came out and said about Mayweather camp. But it's just crazy.
It definitely
needs
is,
to happen.
but just
the shakeup needs to happen.
It does. I'm ready for something to happen, but just let me get to some other callers here.
Hey, Ness, real quick, let me make one point. He said the callers talked about Heyman's not dicking anyone over. Thomas Hauser wrote that article about 3 months ago, and he had highlighted, I forgot what heavyweight it was, But you go back and look at that story, he dicked that dude over big time. We don't know what, I forgot, you know what, I shouldn't even mention without having the facts, but go back and look at that article. But look, guys, at the end of the day, Adonis Stevenson, he could have been dicked over. Let's see how that plays out. Kid Chocolate, he could be dicked over. Let's see how that plays out.
He could have been dicked over?
Let's see. Let's see. What's Adonis and Steven got right now? Nothing, right?
Clearly,
what's he going to get?
With like a Fumfora or something, another dude like that, a Chalemba, somebody like that, you know that.
And that's not going to pay like Hopkins, right?
A Pascal is super easy for him.
And it hasn't gotten done.
Okay, but they're going, aren't they, isn't Pascal the WBC eliminator or something, or they're going to purse bid?
The last I read, Pascal is willing to give up every single right he's got to get this dude in the ring, because I think behind the scenes, it is just not happening.
I hear you. Let's get to some calls. We got another 718. Let me see if this is my boy.
Yo, Ness, what up, though, man? Hey, yo, hello?
Yeah. To all the killers and the 100, I got you stuck off the realness. We be the infamous, you heard of us. Official Queensbridge murderers, the murderers.
Yeah, what's good, fellas? How y'all, man? How's it going, man?
Chilling, brother, chilling.
Yeah, man. I'm saying though, like, the situation with Ellaby and in my opinion, first of all, it was never no Mayweather promotion to begin with. They just now got their promoters license. So Ellaby just was like, I don't think it was no contract signed or anything with that. They were just on the strength for like, you know, like paying them just paying them like an employee. So that's why it's easy for Mayweather to keep letting him go, bringing him back, letting him go, bringing him back. Because if he had a contract, Mayweather could get sued for that. So that's why it's nothing like that. No contract or nothing. Ellaby was just in the corner and to begin with in the first place. He, like 50 Cent said, Ellaby broke. Ellaby just started getting $1 million from Floyd, or even less than that. So that's my opinion about that. And he just Ellaby, he had a little pull this time, I guess. And being the CEO, he always saying they was CEO, but it was never no CEO. There wasn't no company. So now it's probably is now. So I don't know if it was contracted, whatever contracted, but I don't think so. That's why it's easy for him to tell Ellaby to kick rocks or whatever situation may be like that. And I had seen an article today with Brandon Marshall about the domestic violence, not to bring it up. And these people was getting judged without even like, before the even facts come out. Like they judging Mayweather about what happened before. You know what I'm saying? And what is this so big thing? They act like Ray Rice and his wife is not together. They actually got married after he knocked her out. Like, these people crazy, man. They got married after he knocked her out. And they still making a big deal out of it, man. Let them people be, you know what I'm saying? Let them people be. And another thing, you know what I'm saying, Mayweather, man. My whole thing about Mayweather is the whole 2015. What do you think he's gonna take all of the Al Heyman fighters and and promote them? I don't think so. Mayweather likes too much splurging with his money. He likes too much spending his money on that. I don't think he's responsible enough to take on that type of task. That's just my opinion.
Well,
and
QB,
that's pretty much that's all I had to say.
Let me get to some other callers, brother. Thanks for calling in. You already. Let me see. 609. You're live. Who's this?
Yo, what's up? This is Perfect Peace. My second time calling.
What's going on, Perfect
I wanted to touch on a couple things. I agree with QB that I don't think Mayweather would be good for Heyman to dump all the fighters into there, because there's too much drama around him. So like even if he did an interview trying to promote another fight, they would just be asking him questions about his personal crap that he keeps getting into. But I think, you know, it's like Heyman's in a real good position being not being a promoter, but being an advisor, and he can use multiple promoters to promote his fights. And, you know, I think we point the finger at Heyman too much when really it was HBO who said that they didn't want to work with Golden Boy and Al Heyman. And then Oscar came back from rehab and started, like, messing stuff up. Like, 2013 was great. And Oscar come in and start, you know, messing around, and it's like, oh, Richard was messing stuff up too. But on the Golden Boy side, but how much respect am I going to have for you at the negotiation table when I got images of you in heels and fishnet stockings and wearing boxing gloves? Like, what's your judgment like to have some prostitute take that picture, you know? So, you know,
yeah, but
Oscar was ruining his own company.
Listen. You can't come on here talking about not wanting to really bring Mayweather's past to the light, but then you bring Oscar's past to the light. Every man has deserved a second chance, a third chance, as many, because, you know, he who's free from judgment, let him cast the first stone. And none of us are, brother. None of us. I mean, we all have sinned, and we will continue to sin. And if Oscar want to dress up and take pictures, think about it this way. What's worse, okay? Would you rather some man beating on your moms or your wife? Or would you rather some man taking pictures in some fucking panties with your mom and your wife? I would rather take the pictures than have some dude putting his hands on my women.
No, I agree with you. But what I was saying was I wasn't like excluding like Mayweather's past. I was saying Mayweather's past and present is the reason why he can't manage all of those fighters, because like QB said, he spends his money too much and he's always in some kind of controversy. So as a promoter,
yeah, but it wouldn't be Mayweather. You got to understand that Mayweather's going to play the same role Oscar De La Hoya has played thus far, but Mayweather's going to attempt to be a little more involved, but he's still the face of Mayweather Promotions. He won't be running it. That's why he threw out the job offer to Richard Schaefer, saying he could always have a job with him. That's why he praises Richard Schaefer, because he would not mind for Richard Schaefer to run Mayweather Promotions. I mean, that's obvious.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I agree with you there too. And I think Richard could do a great job of that, being, you know, given what he was able to do in the past few years with Golden Boy. So actually, yeah, I got to concede to that point. So that's all I got for right now. I'll let you guys keep it going.
All right, brother. Well, thanks for calling in. And don't ever, you know, get discouraged. You could always come back on here and go hard. This is just the way that I talk. You know, I don't want people catching feelings. 310, you're live. Who's this?
Hey. Hear me?
I hear you, brother. Sound like Fat Albert.
Okay.
Hey.
I love your analogy on Heyman. Man, that I related to that, man, because my moral code is such a hood. Heyman came into the game, man, and he just locked it up. Simple as that. You, like you said, you don't always got to be violent to take over a block. If they don't have what you got, they can't compete.
That's it.
It's not a boxer that's signed to Heyman right now who don't love him. I mean, they thanking Heyman right after they thank God. In some cases, they thanking Heyman first.
That's right.
Or only.
Yeah, in some cases, they thanking Heyman first. So I really could, because I don't know what it is exactly Heyman does for them, but they're loving it. There's not a fighter. The first, I like to thank Al Heyman, and then I like to thank God. Come on, man. Heyman is doing something. I'm seeing the fights I want to see. I'm loving the fights. Yeah, maybe one or two fighters that they could have did this different. They could have did that different. Maybe so. But fights are happening, and I'm loving it. I'm paying for pay-per-view, or I'm paying the $25 to go see it at the theater. Matter of fact, I go to the theater now more. Didn't pay the $79, $80 at the house. So I go to the theater, spend $25 a ticket, and I'm in there. I got my boys with me. I spent $150 for 6 tickets, and I watch the fight. So I'm loving the fights that go on. So I don't know why everybody hating on Heyman. The fighters are loving him, and if they loving him, why are we hating him? You know, that's how I feel about it. He hasn't done nothing in the game so far. I mean, he don't have that stigma that Don King had. Don King fighters hated him. Don King fighters wanted to whoop his ass. You know, he was beating them on the paper. At least with Heyman, they eating. And that's what it is. The fighters are eating, man. And how he gets them to sign to him, or what he says, or how he approaches them, I mean, we don't know that. But what I do know is he's signing them, and he's signing them in a hurry, and they're running over there to him like he got the recipe, and there's nothing nobody can do to stop him. There's nothing nobody can do to stop him. And if he gets all the fighters, then he can put the fights on that he want to put on.
Somebody needs to tell Mario that Al Heyman is the Pablo Escobar of this shit.
But that's the thing, though. Look, the reason why that him and Don King are so different is because when Don King got involved with his fighters, he was interested in the site fee, the pay-per-view revenue, the popcorn sales. He was, I mean, all of that factored into him getting paid. But Al Heyman is just a manager, and I say just a manager. I mean, he does a lot, but I'm just saying he's not involved in that side of the paycheck. So he's a champion for his fighters, and that is great. I agree with both of y'all. Y'all are right. That's awesome that he's getting these guys paid, because for so long they were getting dicked over. The problem is he's also preventing them from taking the fights that we want to see. You know what I'm saying? Like he's getting them paid, but we're not seeing the fights.
I'm gonna chime in on that real quick.
Go ahead.
You got a lot of fighters who, like, what's his name? The light-skinned dude with the ponytail. I forget his Keith Thurman.
Keith Thurman.
You got a lot. Like right now, he's talking about Floyd. You know, well, sometimes you don't want what you're asking for. You running against these B and C level fighters, and then you step on that plateau with a Floyd Mayweather or a Pacquiao. You're not ready for that right now. And Al Heyman knows these guys are not ready for that. You didn't beat this guy. Who have you beat to even have Floyd's name in your mouth? You got all of these guys who's crazy. It's a lot of guys under you that you need to fight. You could fight or Amir Khan or Kell Brooks or somebody else. You get their names on your a notch in your belt with them guys before you bite off of this, before you step up to the big stage. So I feel there's a lot of guys got Floyd's name in his mouth. Like I think there's a video with Danny Garcia saying something about Floyd. You're not ready for Floyd. Stop it. All of these guys think they're ready. They're not ready. They're not ready. You haven't beat nobody of no significance. You know what I mean? So I don't think these guys should be. We shouldn't be so quick to jump out and say, "Oh yeah, he can fight this guy." Ready? Floyd came up to the ring, and I hate it when people say he cherry picked. Floyd did not cherry pick his fights, man. Floyd fought the people they put in. People on the. As far as the world is concerned, didn't even know who Floyd was until he fought Gotti. Once he fought Gotti, that was his first pay-per-view. Unless you was a hardcore boxing fan, you didn't know who Floyd Mayweather Jr. was. Once he got to that plateau, and Floyd was running through everybody, hitting everybody out. He was knocking everybody. He was stopping them. People say, well, he don't knock out nobody no more. He can't punch. He can't. Dude. He's a 140-pound fighter. He walks around at 50. You know, these guys are coming in 160, 170. He can't knock. They're naturally bigger people. That's why his knockout rate went down. He's not even a true welterweight or a super welterweight at that. He's not. When he fought Canelo, he came in at, 50? He weighed in at 52. He came into the fight at 50, maybe 48. He's not going to knock a guy as big as Canelo out, man. So I hate when people say he cherry-picked people. He taught everybody, man. He didn't do like Pacquiao. He didn't fight the same Oscar De La Hoya that Pacquiao fought. Pacquiao brought him all the way down to 47,
brother. Okay, you're going way off topic, my friend. You're going way off topic. Stick to the script here, and we got to get to some other callers. So stick to the script. Finish up.
Okay. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. But Al Heyman, man, I think he's a lifesaver, man. I think he's bringing new blood into it. He's signing everybody. He's gonna get the fights that we want.
All right,
That's
brother.
what I
Thanks.
think.
Thanks.
We'll see.
Listen, I think that we are going to give our final thoughts on this and switch it up. We've been chopping it up about this for an hour and a half. We definitely got to talk some Rosado, Kirkland. So listen, I'm already getting some little mean tweets here. Remember, I said that I was being optimistic. I'm trying to give you both sides of this, or different possibilities, options. Open your minds. I'm not saying for you to believe what I said. I'm not even sure I believe it. I am just capable enough of looking outside of the box. Okay? So that is my closing thoughts on this whole scenario. And Mario, do you want to add anything to that?
Nah, I mean, it's well covered. I hope y'all are right. I don't want y'all to think that I'm arguing with y'all because I think I'm right or I think you're wrong. Not at all. I desperately want y'all to be right. I've been a fan for way too long to know that there is no one looking out for us as fans. No one is. No one cares what we think. No one cares about us and what we want. And no one's been there to be a champion for us. Yeah, Al Heyman does great by his fighters, but who's doing right by us? Where's our champion? Who's in there? Oscar's saying all this stuff about, he wants to get fight fans, and that's great. I hope that comes to fruition, but I don't believe it, man. I've been lied to so many times. We've been lied to so many times that I don't know. I've been turned into a pessimist. That's just the only way to say it.
Well, let me close out, man. Because, I understand what Ness is doing. He wants to, speak the other side because the show's boring when everyone agrees. And I understand that. But there's a couple of reasons. Mario, I'm going to say that you're the smartest person on the panel tonight because you are hammering everything. You're hitting a home run, brother. Okay, when you look at Floyd Mayweather's checks, right, that he tweets out, is Al Heyman's name on them or is Golden Boy's name on them? So, again, Heyman is the advisor, as Mario alluded to. He's not cutting checks. The promoters are. So why would you sue a guy who's not cutting checks, number one? Number two, yeah, Don King did guys dirty. Again, he's a promoter. Well, most promoters have done guys dirty. Promoters get sued every day. And also, what was another major complaint about Don King? I'm not getting dates. I'm not getting dates. Why was that happening? Because he had too many fighters. And then now you're starting to hear people complain about Heyman. I'm not getting dates. He's having me wait. He's putting Quillen on the shelf right now. Maybe he is getting backdoor money. Maybe he's not. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is it's not good to put a young kid on the shelf. So, you said that Heyman's never been sued, but didn't Beyonce sue Heyman when he was a music promoter? So he has been sued before. So he has done somebody dirty before.
Boom, there you go.
Nobody's an angel in this world. Everyone's saying he's the greatest thing since sliced bread now, but just like everyone was going crazy, Showtime's going to kill. Let me finish. Just like everyone was saying, let me finish. Let me just finish real quick, now that you can just kill me afterwards. But just like everyone was saying, Showtime's going to destroy HBO. The numbers are showing you something different because it's all cyclical.
Because Heyman pulled the plug.
History repeats itself.
Heyman pulled the plug. Heyman.
History repeats itself.
No.
Is Heyman good at what he does? Yeah. But right now, he's going crazy. He's biting off way more than he can chew. And I don't think he's going to be able to sustain those 115 fighters. I think at the end of the day, some of these fighters are going to leave.
Mario,
they're going to get sick of being on the shelf.
You and Beeve both went to college, and you should understand the word evolution and evolve, okay? So if Don King did something and failed at it, history shows us that we as human beings use that history to try and advance the next time around. Now, I'm saying that to say clearly the obvious. Doesn't mean because Don King failed, Heyman would fail. Doesn't mean that they're going to have the same reasons. Also, he mentioned the lawsuit. Again, I continue to bring this up. This is now, I think, my third or fourth time saying a person's past is in the past. Does it have relevance because it's a lawsuit? Yes, I agree with you, Beeb. But it is not a lawsuit from a fighter to his manager or advisor. Because, again, the man could have learned from his mistakes. Stop fucking judging people. And the reason, clearly, you guys know by now, and for new listeners, you know that the reason I always take this route is because I have a past. I have a laundry list of shit. And I wouldn't want to be judged basically on actions that I did in the past. And you can learn from that. And Heyman can learn from whatever issue he had with Beyonce, which Beeb failed to mention was the same lawsuit where she sued her father. Okay, guys, look it up. So we're going to go ahead and switch topics now. We all gave – oh, no, actually, I think Jersey Sev wants to talk about this. Where are you, Sev? He's going to hate when he hears this on the podcast or YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, please press the like button, the subscribe button, share this shit. You guys did a phenomenal job with our last show. 10,000 views on YouTube alone. That's fucking awesome. We love you. I love you. Thank you. Sev.
Can you hear me?
If I said Sev, pretty much means I can hear you.
All right. Well, I just got a few things to say. Well, first of all, we don't have to talk about Don King. We could go on even before that. Boxing's a very old sport. And for however long it's been around, there has always been an asshole that tried to take it over and have it all for themselves. This Al Heyman character is not a new character. We've always had this character. We had, I believe, Vinny Carbone, what was the guy's name, in the 40s. When that thing happened where fighters like Jake LaMotta eventually came through in court and testified that they, in fact, did throw fights and were promised bigger things in the future, such as title fights. Like, hey, Jake, you throw this fucking fight, we give you a title fight in a year and a half, shit like that. And it was basically a monopoly for a while. Not 100%, because that's impossible. I'll get to that later. But it was kind of like an Al Heyman thing in the 40s with the mob. And that shit just went fucking downhill. All those guys got arrested. The feds came in. Boxers that were seemingly happy actually ended up testifying in court against this guy. And, he got locked up. And then, we had Don King. We had people before Don King. Now, after Don King, we have Al Heyman. And listen, and Ness, I know you can relate to this because, I haven't, known you for like fucking 10 years or anything like that. But I feel like I know you pretty well, and you're a very ambitious person. Now, Al Heyman is also a very ambitious person. Now, when you're an ambitious person, you try to do ambitious things. And sometimes the things that ambitious people try to do are, in fact, impossible. For example, Beeb said it the best. He took the words right out of my fucking mouth about a half hour ago. What Al is trying to do is just quite simply fucking impossible. There's way too many fucking players in the sport of boxing, and the world of boxing is just way too big for you to establish a real monopoly. So that automatically makes whatever Heyman is trying to do bad for the sport, because it's fucking impossible. All he's doing is repelling fans away from the sport. Now, as far as like, fuck, man, I always forget what I'm going to say when I come on this fucking show. All right, whatever. Let's talk about Leonard Ellerbe. Leonard Ellerbe, why he got fired is because
Sev,
a lot of
yeah. I'm going to give you a minute to collect your thoughts. Given Quality in the chat says that a dork Ivy League grad who's been doing big TV and entertainment deals since 1970s. Okay, now he's a gangster from the 40s. Fuck out of here, caller. So I guess he doesn't believe that your guy, whatever Italian you mentioned, is whatever.
Wait, whoa. Listen, I'm not saying Al Heyman is a gangster like Vinny Carbone. I'm saying he's trying to do the same exact thing.
that Carbone was doing, which is monopolize the sport. His blueprint is the same exact thing that Carbone was doing. Same exact thing. Signing all the prominent fighters and any fighter with a name and matching them up with each other. That's what his plan was. And he almost got to it, just like Al Heyman is almost getting to it. But that's fucking impossible. I never said this Ivy League dork is a gangster or a mafia guy or anything like that. I'm saying he has the same plan and blueprint that Carbone had, okay? Don King had, okay? This guy has over 150, whatever the fuck it is, signed to him, okay? That's been done million fucking times. And crazy, ambitious people sometimes try to do crazy fucking shit. Al Heyman is a crazy motherfucker. If he wasn't, he wouldn't be where he is today. This guy is as ambitious. You think fucking Floyd is ambitious and driven? Al Heyman is 3 times more than that, man. You just don't know because he's not on TV and he's not a fucking athlete. This guy is a black guy from the hood who managed to get his ass into Harvard and graduated at the top excuse me, from the top of his university. After that, and while he was in college, he was still hustling. He was putting together concerts with the scholarship money that he received to go to school. So he already started hustling before he even graduated. So this guy's an ambitious motherfucker. And even though these guys are really bright, sometimes, like I said, they're crazy, so sometimes they do crazy shit. Now, with the fucking Leonard Ellerby thing, Leonard Ellerby got fired because Floyd is looking to take his anger out on someone, and Ellerby was the best person for that. Aside from the fact that Ellerby doesn't even know how to write, and I'll prove it to you. You probably think I'm joking. He doesn't know how to write. Next time I come to your house, I'm going to fucking show you that this motherfucker doesn't know how to write. Because I asked for an autograph one time because I work in the Diamond District in New York, and every time Floyd, after he has a big fight or just a fight, he comes and buys fucking watches for security guards. So I saw him one time, and I wasn't able to get to Floyd, so I'm like, fuck it, let me just ask Ellerby for an autograph. It'll be like a nice little thing I could put next to my autographed gloves. The motherfucker couldn't even write his name, man. It's like a fucking like an X. So this guy is you just need to give him a crayon and a coloring book. So he really wasn't doing anything. He was just Floyd's friend, and he's a very loyal guy. Credit to him, Ellerby is a very loyal guy, and he wants nothing but the best for Floyd, and he's been a very good friend of Floyd for a very long time, going all the way back to childhood or close to that. So Floyd always kept him around. Because even though he's good for nothing, it's good to have someone like that around you as an athlete, Because, you don't have to worry about him stabbing you in the back. He makes you feel good. He's a cheerleader. He keeps your confidence up. He does anything you ask him to do, blah, 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 blah. But I have a lot more shit to say, but I just want to keep it short for now. Please get back to me later. I have a lot of important shit to say, but I just want to keep the show rolling. Just please get back to me later.
No doubt. Don't drop off like you always do. So we're going to go ahead and switch topics up. I know that the guys listening on the podcast probably going to get a little upset because it was a lot of talk of Heyman, Mayweather, Ellerby, and all that stuff. But, hey, man, we're reporting, and it's big.
Remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
Make sure you like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at The Boxing Voice for the most up-to-date info on boxing. Subscribe to youtube.com/The Boxing Voice for the latest and greatest interviews with your favorite fighters.
Shout out to Amir Khan's girlfriend hooking us up. Listen, so Rosado Kirkland is what we want to talk about, and I'm excited. This card couldn't have gotten any better. Just getting B-Hop in versus a real threat. We've been having him versus Marat, versus... Who's the other guy? Who's the other guy he fought, Beeb? Oh, Beep. Beep.
I'm sorry, Ness. I stepped away.
Shumanov, yeah.
Give me 3 minutes. I'll be right back.
Okay. So we finally get a real fight. A unification, best versus the best. I mean, he's one of the best, right? One of the 3 top light heavyweights. You know, he's Bernard Hopkins. He's a legend. So then we get Rosado Kirkland. So let's just get right into it. I mean, Mario, did you like this fight?
I love this fight. I absolutely love it. I mean, you know, all the shit that's been talked about the Pacquiao pay-per-view undercard, the Mayweather pay-per-view undercard, and how bad the pay-per-view undercards have been. I mean, doesn't this feel like a pay-per-view now? Like, I mean, it did before with the main event, but fuck, I mean, this is a can't miss fight. It really is. I mean, I urge y'all to find a bad fight that these guys have had in the last, I don't know, 5-6 years, you know, maybe 4 or 5 years. These are the epitome of guys that leave it all out there in the ring. I mean, and James Kirkland, I mean, better than most. What I like about this fight so much, though, is it doesn't feel, and maybe I'm in the minority, but it doesn't feel like they're throwing Rosado to the wolves. This doesn't feel like Kirkland's getting, a semi-decent name to tax while he sets up a possible Canelo fight or a bigger fight down the road with someone else. Because Rosado's been a guy who comes in and has disrupted plans. You know, Peter Quillen, that fight, in my opinion, was going to in Rosado's favor. What was the other fight that he had that, I'm forgetting. Oh, the Jalen Love fight. You know, these are fights that Rosado was in and was supposed to get clearly dominated, and he didn't. Kirkland, on the other hand, is a guy who makes mistakes, and he makes plenty of them in the ring. Even when he's having the performance of his life, even when he's coming off of his best round in years, the most dominant, side of him that we've seen, what happens? He loses his fucking mind. The dude is there to be hit. Rosado will come to hit. It's going to be just a great, thrilling, entertaining match to set up, hopefully another great, entertaining match. It's kind of like the insurance policy, because with Hopkins, we don't know what's going to happen. If Hopkins goes in there and dominates like we've seen him in the past, it could be boring, guys. It really could. If Kovalov can't figure him out. So to have this fight on there, we know that it's going to be action-packed.
Absolutely, man. My thing with this fight is, we give Kirkland a lot of shit. There's gonna be some guys to call in and say that, question Kirkland's chin and things like that. But at the end of the day, he's only been knocked out once. And if you let that engine get going, you let that sweat build up on his back, you're gonna have a hard time. People are going to call in. They're going to talk Molina. Yeah, but Molina held all fucking night. All night. Okay? So when he was free, he dropped Molina. He's action-packed to the very last second, man. So this is an awesome fight, man. In the words of Oscar De La Hoya, it's a tremendous, tremendous, tremendous fight. The funny thing about this is, Mario, did you know that Gabe Rosado had been signed to Golden Boy since before the Jay Leon Love fight?
No idea. No idea at all.
Me either. And, that's why I want to put this interview up, man. Let me check if it's over there by now or what. But the point is, he's been signed to them ever since then, and they are the ones that pitched BKB to him.
Really?
Yeah, I'm telling you, very interesting interview.
Wow, that's crazy. That's weird. That's weird on a completely different level. Not just because it's Rosado, just that they would have any that would factor into their game plan or blueprint for not just his career but any fighter's career. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was strange when he told me. And what's even weirder is he picked Brian Vera.
That makes sense to me a little bit because he's it would definitely people talked a lot of shit about BKB, and they said a lot of things about it negatively, but I mean that was like the best kind of fight that you could get in that atmosphere. Having it set up the way it was set up, putting them in the phone booth, so to speak. So I think he probably knew that would be an entertaining fight. I think he knew he had some advantages over Vera. Boxing wise, Rosado's a better boxer, and in terms of slugging, I think he probably figured Brian Vera would offer him two things: one, an entertaining show that he could capitalize off of, and two, a kind of safety net where if things weren't going his way brawling, he could go back to boxing and outclass Vera a little bit here and there.
Now, what I've noticed is all the way since the Shakur Powell fight, Rosado has been establishing that right hand, and over time it's getting stronger and stronger. He was able to drop J. Leon Love. He was able to hurt Peter Quillen with it, back Peter Quillen up when that fight was getting good right before the cut. The cut being another key point. Before you guys make your pick, he's gotten surgery. Those eyes held up. He got rid of that scar tissue, and the cuts held up in the Vera fight, and he fought well in the Vera fight. Inside at that, because that was a forced environment, which is where Kirkland wants to be, on the inside. Now, can he catch Kirkland in that first round? I'm saying that's, of course, the most obvious. His highest window is in that first round, but Rosado isn't really a fast starter, I don't think. I think he likes to try to play counterpuncher until he has to fight on the inside.
He'll go back and forth, definitely.
Yeah, and I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's a super, super interesting fight. I'm glad that Kirkland isn't not fighting. This guy, this is another Amir Khan, in my opinion. And what I mean by that is, this guy's been able to start his career over now, I think 3 times, went to jail twice, fired everyone, signed a 50 Cent, and he started his career again.
Well, he went to jail, right, as he was skyrocketing, and everything kind of just flatlined for him. I mean, not just flatlined. I mean, he took several steps back. Then he comes back. He has it was 3 fights in 4 days or something like that, and he gets knocked out, right? Sends him spiraling back down, regroups, brings his team back together with Ann Wolfe, who's just done an amazing job with him, and just resurfaces time and time again. This guy takes huge layoffs every time. He goes missing. He comes in, he entertains all of us, and then he just goes ghost. You know what I mean? He goes into these fights, and it's like it almost seems like at this point it has to be some strategic maneuver where he's like, I'm going to give them just enough to where they want everything from me, and then I'm going to go ghost so I can build up that anticipation. James Kirkland is the equivalent to the Carter 3. This guy just continues to resurface, like you said, but in such a positive way. And people looked at his last fight. They talked about the opponent in Tapia, and they talked about all the things that, heading into the fight, how, the kind of matchup that it was for both guys, a test for Tapia, Kirkland's way to get back in the limelight. But he didn't even let those factor. He made it such an entertaining fight that at the end and weeks afterwards, all we could talk about is getting him back into the ring. A win over Tapia for anyone else in that position, and it's kind of like a slow building process, no matter how it is. Unless it's some sort of spectacular knockout. But with James Kirkland, it's like he can go missing for months or years in at a time, and as soon as he comes back, he gives us the kind of performance that we're saying, man, let's see Kirkland Cotto. Let's see Kirkland Canelo. Let's see, Kirkland and Golovkin are the top of the division. That's the kind of interesting possibilities he presents every time he gets in the ring. And what I love so much, and Ness, you brought this point up. You didn't say it, but you were obviously making this point with Rosado and the BKB. I don't know if BKB could help any fighter in terms of helping them evolve with their ring skills inside an actual ring. However, if there was any fight, and maybe people will disagree with me, but if there was any fight that would have been, I guess, ideal for him to take inside BKB and then come back and take that fight, it's the Kirkland fight. I think that BKB and that kind of atmosphere and the kind of preparation he probably had to go into to get ready for that BKB will help him with Kirkland. Even if it's a small degree, I think at the very least it didn't hurt. And so heading into the fight, I mean, I don't think that this is a walkthrough fight for Kirkland even a little bit. I think Rosado is the kind of guy that can make a tough night for anyone. I mean, maybe not anyone, but definitely Kirkland, a guy who is a flawed fighter to say the least.
But Mario, what about the guys that are gonna call in and say, "Oh well, Angulo whitewashed Rosado, and Golovkin destroyed Rosado, and Peter Quillen was beating him up, and Peter Quillen only got 19 fights, and he's the weakest link at 160." I mean, what about those guys?
Well, those guys have to understand that at the end of the day, that's what is so interesting about this fight is that's not going to be Kirkland's not that fighter. Kirkland's not a guy that's going to go in and say, "Okay, Ann, give me the best game plan in terms of low risk and high reward. How can I stay on the outside and earn points in a safe way? How can I exploit Rosado's weakest tendencies boxing-wise and come out on the other end without any bruise or cuts or anything like that?" He's not going to do that. He's going to go in there full force. And Rosado is the kind of fighter, when matched full force. I mean, because that's the thing about the Golovkin fight. People can say all they want about Golovkin being too much for Rosado, but Golovkin has a very underappreciated set of skills when it comes to boxing. Golovkin's not the mauler that people sometimes make him out to be. Yes, he's destroying people, and yes, he's a destroyer, but that's not all we get from him. Just because he's knocking guys out, it doesn't mean he doesn't box beautifully. I guess that was like a double negative, but I mean, it doesn't mean that that's limits Rosado in any other fight. James Kirkland is a come-forward fighter, and he is willing to get hit. I think getting hit is part of his game plan in a sense. I don't think that he, says, "Oh, well, like, I want to get hit," but it's like, I'm going to get hit, and it's like an accepted notion. You hear Mayweather saying, "Well, it's a fight, you're going to get hit," but Mayweather doesn't believe that. He doesn't feel like that. He's not going in there to get cut. James Kirkland is going in there, and he is focused so much on creating the best and most devastating offense that he can possibly derive that he does not care about the offense coming back at him. When you give a fighter like Rosado that window, he's dangerous. I don't give a shit what anybody says about Golovkin. I don't give a shit about what anybody says about any of that. Rosado has enough boxing skill and enough forthright and enough heart, certainly enough heart. That's the one thing you can't say about Golovkin, is that he didn't prove he can't stay in there with a fighter who's willing to continue to dish out punishment and not show any tendencies to lay back. And when you give Rosado those windows, he will exploit them. I'm telling you right now, I'm not saying it's a 50-50 fight, but it's I would say maybe 70-30 at the least, maybe 60-40. I think that Rosado has a good chance of winning the fight.
Well, let's see what the streets got to say. Let me see. This may or may not be. 443, who's this?
Oh, is it me, Ness?
Is it you, Wood? You got a new number again?
No, this is my number, man. This is the same number I've been calling on, man.
I don't know about
I want to hear that God shit can't save a motherfucker. Put that shit on for me, man.
It's Baltimore, gentlemen. The gods will not save you.
Now that sounds better. Hey, man, look. I'm gonna tell you some good shit. You need to take a page out of Mayweather book, like, and start shaking up your show, man. And you know how Mayweather fired at me here, motherfucker, with LB. You need to start shaking up your shit and get with this goddamn Mario. I don't got nothing against Mario, but Mario always calling out. No call, no show. Mario he's just a fuck up, man. When you gonna get that to your head?
Talking about Wood because he's not
This
on
nigga
enough.
This nigga always calling out sick or whatever. AWOL, no call.
Per diem, Wood. He's per diem, baby.
Man, when he get his shit together, man. When he get his shit together, let him come back, man. Fire this motherfucker, man. I like Mario, but he talks like a college professor, man. He putting everybody to fucking sleep. And he's a cool dude. He got knowledge, man. But you know, he got to pep it up a little bit, man. He be gone for 3 months, then he come back, and then he gonna talk everybody to fucking death about all this boring shit, man. Just you know what I'm saying, man. Just I don't know, man. I don't know what to say about him. No, I like B. You know, only one time I thought you should fire B. B was being insubordinate. Or B see to earn his wage. You know, he's starting to toe the line now, man. But I just don't. All right, I just can't take that long ass monologue that Mario be talking about, man. It's too fucking boring. But so y'all was So what else y'all was talking? Y'all was talking about Al Heyman. Man, I'm tired. I've been telling Ness about this asshole for years, so I don't got nothing else to say about this motherfucker, man. He I already told you he's a piece of shit. I know a piece of shit when I see one or hear about one. But the Mayweather, man, we ain't here the last of Mayweather, man. Cause this nigga, when he get out boxing, I think he gonna be a more pain in the motherfucker ass when he finally retire. I don't think we seen the last of this motherfucker. What you think? Mario?
About Mayweather?
What you think?
You're saying that we haven't.
Y'all don't think we seen the last of this motherfucker? I think he's gonna be in boxing, trying to change rules, trying to change boxing, interfering with shit. It's just the type of person he is, man.
I mean, I 100% agree. Like, how could he not? You know what I'm saying? Like people have laid out the game plan for years. And I said this a long time ago. De La Hoya, you know, he said, HBO, I'm going to fight. If you want me to fight, then I need undercards. I need my guys. I need dates. And that led to, you know, the output deal and all the bullshit with HBO. And that's where all the hate from HBO really originated from. How is Floyd not going to do that? I really don't think he's done in September. I really don't. I think he's going to continue to fight. But, I mean, Wood, you've always made the point, I remember in the past, with guys that have the power at the top and the way they control the sport. And I think it was an argument when we were having about Canelo Lara or something like that. But you're absolutely right. When guys get in this position, they're able to dictate terms outside of it. There's no way this dude walks away when he has so much influence. I mean, let me ask you, Wood, you give a fuck about this dude if he's not fighting? You give a fuck about this dude if he's calling shots from behind the scenes like Al Heyman, if he goes ghost, if he puts on his Wizard of Oz impersonation? Because I don't give a fuck.
I want his ass to be. Mario, I'm telling you, I told you before, man. I want Floyd. Once he finished fighting, I want that son of a bitch to go to the fucking moon.
No, same thing.
I'm tired of him, his gay ass fans, and the motherfuckers that hate him. They take up too much fucking space. They occupy too much space. His hater, I don't know who they hate most, his haters or his fans. I don't know. They neck and neck. Them motherfuckers is like they like insects, man. He just tired of hearing this guy's not going nowhere, man. I just wish he get out of boxing. His dumb ass father. They just a nuisance. Them motherfuckers just won't go away. They like Jason and shit. You kill this motherfucker, and next week if you see this motherfucker again, man, I'm tired.
You know what, Wood? I'm gonna use you as the perfect example, okay? Because Mayweather, everybody talks about the love-hate relationship, and I'm gonna use Wood as an example right here on the show. Wood calls in, and all and Twitter and fucking social media when it comes to the show is they either love the fuck out of Wood and they want him to fucking host like 9 shows a month, or they hate Wood and they don't want anything to do with them. But guess what? They listen. It's an entertainment thing. You know what I mean? They love to hate Wood or they love to love Wood. That's it. But Floyd, that's not the point. That's not what's happening anymore. That used to be what it was. You know, back in the 24/7 days when you'd see him. But now it's getting tired. It's getting tired, and people are tired of it.
I want to ask you something. So you think it'd be good to have Floyd around changing? He want to change gloves, and he want to change the ring size. He want to change the referees. He want everything to go his fucking way, and he got a whole bunch of groupies that hang around him that's cheering this nigga on. They just fucking up boxing.
Wood, man, you a little late for that topic. Let's talk some Gabe Rosado.
So what?
Kirkland,
Okay,
man.
all right. Well, Gabe, you want me to talk about Gabe Rosado? See, man, that's you. You always try to coach a motherfucker, man. Look, you a coach, man. You a coach, man. I don't need no coach, man. I had to fuck a nigga up last night for trying to coach me, man.
Ain't fucking nothing, though.
Hey yo, I fucked this nigga up right in front of
Fatburger. You did it in Fatburger, right?
Swear, no,
The Waffle House.
Yo, I will not lie, yo. He was a bouncer and shit. Somebody snatched some money out my hand, and this motherfucker.
Come on. All right, Wood. I'm out of here, man. I'm going to the next call.
No, Ness, let me finish, yo.
Yeah, you talking about bouncers
I got to ask you one more. Yeah. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Won't you let me and Robbie do a show, man?
All right, we got to talk over here. Email me.
Talk to your. Is Robbie still on the phone?
Yeah, he's there.
Yeah, let me speak to Rob, man, please.
Hello there. How are you, Wood?
What's going on, Rob?
Yo, I'm not even gonna let y'all do that. Y'all gonna do that shit off air, ruining the show. Get out of here. 409, you're live. 409 might be a first time caller, right? 409.
Oh yeah, boy.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, making his professional debut.
Yo, what's going on, man? This is my first time calling. I gotta say, I really like your show.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for participating and for listening all this time.
Oh yeah, I've been on here. It looked like 2 hours 22 minutes, man. But y'all go around so sporadically. I can't figure out when y'all on. But I'm glad. I know after a major fight, y'all gonna talk about something.
Well, here you go. Here's some info.
Join us every Thursday and Sunday live at 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
Now you know, brother. We're always on those days, but we do sporadic shows not on those days. But if you follow us on Blog Talk, where you listening, if you're listening on your computer, you follow us on Blog Talk. You get an email whenever we go live, or you could just subscribe on iTunes and listen to all the podcasts the next day. Tune in, Stitcher.
Yeah.
Pick your poison.
All right. Well, I mean, I wanted to talk about the Al Heyman thing, but y'all going on that Gary Rosado and Kirkland fight.
I mean, if you can make it short and sweet, because we did spend like an hour and 45 minutes on that. So if you could go into that and then get into Gabe, it's no problem. But the first time caller, you get your choice.
All right. Well, short and sweet on Al Heyman. Y'all got to understand HBO was the king of boxing. And when Floyd signed the $250 million deal to Showtime, it wasn't just the Showtime, it was the CBS, right? So how many times have you seen a fight on regular just show sports by a top-tier athlete? His last 4 fights, they showed the how you say, they showed the Guerrero fights, they showed a lot of his old fights, they showed some of the opponent's fights.
Like B-level.
With Al Heyman, what I think with the Al Heyman situation is just the changing of the guard. You got the WWF, you got the WCW. Once Hulk Hogan went NWO and that flew off, WCW picked that up. And that's what's kind of going on. Showtime is just basically swallowing the hole that HBO created in its dullness of the sport. HBO needs to get kicked up a little bit.
You know, hey, pick yourself up, man. Come on, we'll show you how it's done now. And that's all I think it is. It's just a new era. I think Al Heyman is just doing what he's doing. I prefer Showtime now, but I think HBO is just, you know, it's like the Super Bowl. You know, anytime you turn into HBO, it's gonna be the, you know, a HBO production. You know, Showtime needs work on it still. But I think that's just the situation with that. As far as Gabe Rosado and that Kirkland fight, man, you know, I watched that Triple G versus Gabe Rosado fight, and as much as Gabe Rosado was a hard ass, he boxed. I ain't never seen him run, jab. I ain't seen a jab from Kirkland, and I'm not Kirkland, but Rosado. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, you know what, and you're right, but it's so funny that you even bring that up, because I was actually going to make that point. He threw that jab pretty well at the BKB. I mean, he didn't, like, you know, overuse it or anything like that, but I don't know if y'all saw it, but he used the jab pretty well at that BKB. But I get what you're saying, you know, in his past fights. You're right, absolutely, but I just wanted to make that point.
That jab set up the knockout punch in BKB.
The first one, right?
Yeah, not only that, say what you want, but Rosado still gave Golovkin his toughest fight till date.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. You know, when I'm sorry, my baby girl want to talk because I'm talking now, but as far as you know, as far as Gabe Rosado, I really see the boxer in him outdoing Kirkland, and I love Kirkland. I love the story. I love who he's trained by. I just see when it comes down to it, if Gabe Rosado feels Kirkland's power, he's gonna outbox Kirkland. If Kirkland feels Gabe Rosado power, I don't see the tools in Kirkland to really say, "Oh, I'm gonna swing around this rim."
Great point.
Swing around the ring.
Great point.
And that's just my opinion on it.
I agree.
Thank you for waiting on hold all that time. Remember, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, Blog Talk, many ways to listen, and we hope you continue to be a loyal fan. Let me, well, not fan, excuse me, listener. We went to 414, went to 313, went to 443, 409, 707. You're live. Who's this?
Yo,
what up? 707. You're live.
Hello, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, brother.
Yo, what's going on, man? It's the atheist calling.
What's going on, brother? Talk to us.
Nothing, man. I kind of lost track of what you guys were just recently talking about. I think it was the Kirkland Rosado fight, right?
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Probably the the Hopkins Kovalev fight, or like the Cotto Martinez fight. Those are the two fights I was really looking forward to this year. But the Rosado Kirkland fight, man, it's like the cherry on the cake. Somebody's gonna get knocked out, or somebody's gonna get TKO'd, or somebody's gonna bleed to death in the ring, or something, man.
Absolutely, man. I believe this is gonna be one hell of a war. But, I mean, what the last caller said, first-time caller with some great knowledge, he's right, man. Rosado can box. We've seen him do it with Jay Leon Love, and he boxed very well in this Vera fight. He didn't even really get hit. But that's all you got, brother? Because we're gonna get to some other calls if you're all done.
Nah, man. I think that's all I got. I just appreciate the show, man, and keep up the good work. And if you ever talk to Rosado, because I know you be out there in Philly, recording people every now and then, tell him to just super glue his eyebrows or some shit, man. Cause
well, he got surgery. He got surgery, so those eyebrows are they're taken care of, brother.
I fucking hope to God, yo, that's like his biggest Achilles heel right there, man.
Yeah. I'm actually.
All right, then, man.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, go ahead and finish, man. I'm good to go.
All right, brother. I'm gonna just place you on mute so you can keep listening. And I'm actually physically uploading the video now, tagging it up. Very good interview with Gabe Rosado. Talks about leaving Billy Briscoe, being trained with Jesse Reed, moving from Philly to L.A. He's actually filming a movie or about to film a movie. He spoke of the production for BKB. Now, this is a guy that for a very long time wasn't signed to any promoter. So he spoke of just the way that he was treated in BKB. He really likes it. And you know me, man. You know, we had a good interview, man. So definitely I want you guys to check it out. I'm going to take another caller here, 917. You are live. Who is this?
This is Teron from Brooklyn. What's going on, fellas?
What's going on?
I missed the very beginning of the show, so I hope I don't cover something that you guys touched on already. But I got two questions regarding that fight for you. And I definitely agree with your analysis that it's potentially a close fight. I think Kirkland is definitely the favorite, but I don't think he's the favorite by much. But the two questions I have for you is, number one, you guys, have you heard what the purses are for this fight? And then number two, the reason why I'm asking is because I heard that Kirkland had an opportunity to fight Canelo, but he turned it down because he thought it should be a pay-per-view fight. And it just seems to me like if he had an opportunity to fight Canelo, even if it was on HBO or Showtime, he could have made a lot more money than he would in this fight. And by taking this fight for less money, he could potentially lose and miss out on the Canelo fight. So I just wanted to know what you guys thought about that.
Well, that's why it's so important that I get this interview up. 917, I'm going to get to some other callers and let you know your answers. I spoke to him, and you know, he made it seem as if it was a Canelo fight looming. So when I touched on it, he told me it's not just Canelo. There's other things out there for him. So, you know, Golden Boy's treating him well. He's happy, and he basically said if he wins this fight, there's big things out there for him. So, you know, who could it be? I don't know, but Puerto Rico versus Mexico, Canelo, it sounds about right, man. Let me get to some other callers here. Let me see what we got. We got, everybody's favorite. Where is he at?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Nelson.
No, motherfucker, I didn't say my name was different. What the fuck?
Oh, you said your name was Nelson.
No, I didn't. You need to clean your motherfucking ears out, nigga. Yes, sir.
X-rated ass intro.
What'd you say?
Fucking PG-13 intro. What's up, brother? Talk to me.
Yo, man. Hey, so we got Toledo this Saturday, man. BN Sports still killing it. BN Sports killing it while HBO on the fucking sideline with Jim Lampley's punk ass. While Showtime's on the sideline too. But nah, man, they're gonna have Toledo versus Turtzak Kokikim, aka Turtzak John Dang. He actually fought on HBO. He fought against Juan Marquez.
Is that Thai food, Asian? What is that?
He's from Thailand.
Oh, that's the fighter's name. I thought you was giving me like a dish or something.
Nah, man, that shit is not the number 2. That's go KO in Doran, man. That's gonna be KO2 or something like that. Now he'll probably last longer than that, but I think Toledo's gonna take him out. And that's actually for Mikey Garcia's interim title.
Yeah, but
Mikey
Garcia,
shelf, you know.
Mikey Garcia ain't gonna be fighting nobody no time soon.
Yeah, man. And the thing is, even if and when he comes back, I don't think he's gonna be at 130. I mean, he's like, is he walking around to like 160 right now?
I don't know. I doubt it though. Remember, he was training with Maidana. He didn't look like a 160.
I don't know. He said they were saying that he was the same weight as Maidana. That's the only reason why I said that. So,
wow.
I don't know. But yeah, and then on the undercard of that, man, there's another 108-pound title on the line. Javier Mendoza versus Ramon Garcia. Garcia is actually a former champion too. So, I mean, that's gonna be a war between those two. So I mean, for everybody that's got BN Sports Espanol, keep that out, man. I mean, they've been delivering pretty much every week now. I think they got a card next week too. Matter of fact, yeah, it's Omar Chavez versus Ramon Alvarez, the brother of Chavez and the brother of Alvarez duking it out. Too bad we can't get the real brothers duking it out. But aside from that, man, the weekend doesn't seem like it's that great. I mean, you got Jeff Lacey, still hanging around for some reason. And, oh, shit, Richard Abril. I didn't even notice that. I'm looking at the schedule. Richard Abril is fighting in Finland.
Where's he? In Finland?
Yeah.
Damn, man, I feel
I didn't
bad
know they
for
had
Richard
boxing
Abril,
in Finland,
man.
man. I thought that shit was illegal over there. So
I feel bad for Richard Abreu, man, because he didn't get the fame that he deserved off of that Rios fight, and then he had that fight with Bogaré where he beat Bogaré on a Golden Boy card, and they didn't even like give him any options or fights, and now he's like somewhere else. It's really sad. It's fucked up, man. And
Well, I mean, it's one of
Heyman,
those things. It's the ugly style thing, man. Like, you know, when you got that ugly style, people don't want to put you on TV. So
yeah, but
same thing.
Al Heyman signed Vasquez with an ugly style.
Yeah, I know, but look what happened.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
I mean, I think it's going to be pretty hard for him to get any kind of TV dates still, Vasquez, even with Heyman. I mean, unless they just toss him on another pay-per-view undercard because they figure it's a throwaway. But I mean, it's just one of those things where, I mean, that style it doesn't unfortunately do these guys any favors, which is a damn shame because really it takes two guys to make a fight, you know. I mean, Tomo Moreno can be quoted, you know, called boring here and there too, but he sure as hell wasn't boring against Morris or Darchunian, really. What's on your mind, though, Dan?
You know me, I'm psyched. You guys know that, and you're gonna hear me mention it numerous times on my interview with Rosado. You know, I'm not gonna lie or hide from the fact that I picked him to beat Golovkin. So I'm definitely excited about this fight, and I think that he's a better, bigger fighter than he was when he fought Golovkin. You know what I'm saying? Now the problem with this fight is this 157 thing. So the person, I mean, they're both suffering because we all know the rumors of James Kirkland getting up to like 205. So, but Rosado has been fighting at 160 for some time now, and now he's gonna have to make 157. He reassured me that it's not gonna be a problem. That you know, he's been actually changed things since he moved to LA, and I think he has a nutritionist and everything, and he made weight at 160 easier than he's ever have, and he was able to eat 3 meals before the weigh-in. So, if we get a solid Rosado, I just think this is a great fight.
Yeah, wasn't the Charlo fight at 154?
Who?
When he fought Charlo?
Probably so, because Charlo's over 154.
Yeah, because I mean, I imagine it'll probably be tougher for Kirkland to make the weight thing with Rosado. Rosado seems like he's always in pretty good shape, even when he's like, you know, a little bit heavier when it's not fight camp time.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like he blows up the way Kirkland does. And then Kirkland, to me, like, it's kind of like Angulo, man. To me, like, he's been drained himself for about like 4 or 5 years now. And he, like, that's why he comes into the ring dry as a bone, even though he's supposedly gained like 20 pounds over it. Like, so dry. Yeah, it's a good look for him to move up, if anything.
Listen,
but if I was to say,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say if I was to say anybody might wind up drained at the weight, it's gonna be Kirkland. Not Rosado. I think Rosado will be just fine.
Me too, and you got to factor in the fact that this fight is going to be taking place in Atlantic City. So Kirkland's all the way from Texas. We're going to have, you know, thousands of B-Hop fans who are from Philadelphia. Gabe Rosado's from Philadelphia. He's fighting on his mentor's undercard. This dude's been in numerous training camps with Bernard Hopkins. And again, this is the main stage. A Kirkland win is big. Because we could say what we want about Kirkland and how he's looked and his inconsistencies, but Mario said it the best. This guy comes on and he always excites you. And he's gone for a long time, but you still want him back. So that would put Gabe Rosado in a very, very good position.
Well, depending on how Kirkland comes out, man, like if he comes out like the animal he can be sometimes, I mean that would be a hell of a win if Rosado were to beat, you know, that type of a Kirkland.
Yo,
I mean, even when he was looking sluggish, like say against like Carlos Molina, he still was kind of getting close to, you know, taking him out late in that fight.
Well, he dropped Molina. Don't forget that. Don't forget that he dropped Molina. But could you imagine if this fight ended up looking exactly like the Angulo one? That would be awesome.
Yeah,
that was
man.
A hell of a fight.
I could see something like that. I mean, the thing is about Kirkland is, because he comes in dry like that, it's almost like he's asleep. It's almost like he needs to get whacked a couple times over the head in order to wake up. But at the same time, if he gets whacked hard enough, he might be able to put him down for longer than the 10 seconds, you know?
I think this undercard...
That might not be enough time.
this undercard, I think, has the potential. I know that Sergey has all this power and he's been knocking guys out with jabs and shit like that, but I think that this undercard has the potential of stealing the show. 602, you're live. Who's this?
Yo, what up, Next? Can you hear me, bro?
Loud and clear, brother. Who's this?
Yo, it's Brandon from Phoenix, man.
Brandon,
yo,
what up?
I just wanted to call it. I just want to call in and say, man, I picked Rosado on the Kirkland fight, man. Kirkland, to me, he never really refined his skills, and he's always been in and out of the ring, man. And I like somebody who's kind of been training, been doing his thing, and been, getting his grind on like Rosado. So I got Rosado in that, taking Kirkland out, man, probably like in the 4th, 5th round. And then, what was y'all talking about Al Heyman about, man?
You got him taking him out that early?
Well, I mean, pretty early, man. I mean, like, Kirkland's one of those dudes where either you go or he go. You know what I mean? So, I think 4th, 5th round, man, I can see it happening. I can see it like that, man. Him just getting a little wild, Rosado timing him with one of those big right hands, and then bam, there it is.
Yeah, man. Well, the Al Heyman thing, we were just talking about the takeover. We're talking about Mayweather firing Ellerby and firing Rafael Garcia and just saying he's going to shake things up and talking about Heyman's NBC Sports deal with 40 fights over there or 41 fights on NBC Sports Network. We were just touching on that because it's all like, we're running down the end of this year, and next year we should see something. The fact that Sergio Mora has just signed to Al Heyman, it has to mean something. Like Sergio Mora is now going to be back on our television.
I hear you, man. I'm with y'all. I'm just kind of scratching my head over this whole Al Heyman thing. And, I don't get what he's doing. I mean, it's like he has to be trying to create, like, his own league. I mean, that's the only thing that makes any sense because the shit fights we've been getting this year is crazy. I mean, you can't really even blame Heyman. You gotta blame the networks, man. It's like parents and kids. You know what I'm saying? If you got some fucked up kids that are just acting all wild and shit like that, you gotta blame the parents for not keeping them in line. And we really gotta put Showtime's feet to the fire for letting Heyman get away with this bullshit. I mean, if you look at these next 2 big HBO cards with Golovkin versus Rubio, with the undercards of Walters versus Donaire, and then this new undercard announcement, I mean, they're killing Showtime for the end of the year this year. And I don't even like HBO, man, because HBO's biased as fuck.
Yeah, brother, you make excellent points, and you're definitely right. They're closing out the year with a bang, but they are taking a whole month off.
Well, I mean, come on, man. The Salsa, and does that really count? I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, was that really anything? Did we need to see that? You know what I mean? But I feel you. I mean, I do appreciate that when Showtime puts on cards, you get normally like 3 fights, you know what I'm saying, on Showtime, and then they hit you with the Show Extreme, because I always, I religiously record that Show Extreme. You know what I mean? So we do get more content out of it, and we get to see, more boxers, more prospects, even Chad Dawson's fat ass on the comeback. So, but I'd still take the quality over the quantity, man. I mean, if they would have given me Lamont Peterson versus Garcia, they could have shelved the rest of that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally agree, man. But I disagree on the content. Like, I'm just a dude, and I'm going to place you on hold, get to some other calls, but thanks for calling in, Brandon. I'm just a dude that I love content. Like, I watched the Kenny Bellis Cornered. I watched the what's this guy's name? The announcer, Michael Buffer. I watch all the All Access. I watch the Fight Game. I'm watching everyone's videos out there. Like, whatever you give me. I even went and watched the Fight Game Overtime that was on HBO on YouTube channel, which I like that they did. It's something that they've always done with Bill Maher. Man, and I'm kind of jealous of Jim Lampley with this last episode. I always said that I wanted to be the Bill Maher boxing, and he kind of did that this time around. He turned that show around. I won't say that I didn't enjoy it. Like, were they a little bit late? Still talking about Gary Russell and, whoever else they fucking talked about? Yeah, but it kind of had everything to do with Al Heyman at the end of the day. It was kind of lead up. But this episode was one of the best episodes. He kept it real. He said what was on his mind. Did I like that he attacked Mayweather so much? No. It was felt like some personal shit, but he still was real. Where those other ones, they were garbage. And this one, he had Bob Arum and De La Hoya there. The conversation didn't go as much, the way that we wanted. We would have wanted more confirmation. It was more of a yes, let's do business than Oscar. Oscar was still talking about, well, I've talked to Al Heyman and he understands that I want to do these fights. Like, why are you still mentioning Al? Like, Al ain't got nothing to do with Canelo, and Bob wants to make Canelo Cotto. But 818, you're live. Who's this? 818, you're live. Who's this?
Hey guys, what's up? What's up? This is AB.
What's up, baby?
So just a couple points I'm gonna go over here. So I think Rosado's gonna beat Kirkland because Kirkland is wild. He has a weak chin. He's been knocked down before by guys with not a lot of power like Ishida. Rosado doesn't really stand there and trade with you. Rosado moves around the ring. So Rosado's not gonna stand in the middle and trade with Kirkland. So and Rosado has pretty good defense. And Kirkland's a little bit sloppy. So I just think Rosado's going to win that unless the cut starts to affect him. Regarding the Mayweather with Ellerby, I think what happened there was in the beginning of Mayweather's career, he needed Ellerby, and Ellerby helped him out a lot. And then I think at this point, Mayweather just is more is more independent. And now I guess the way that is like, okay, if you're not going to listen to whatever I'm telling you, it's got to be my way or the highway. And if you don't do what I tell you, every little thing, I don't like that. I'm going to get rid of you. And that's basically what I got from the Mayweather interview. It was like little things, like with Garcia, the hand wrap, with Ellerby, I guess, like what was it like? I don't know if there was like little minor things. And I think what Mayweather is like, I'm to the point now where I can be independent. And if you don't do what I say, you're out of there.
Yeah, Mayweather's a little bit OCD. That's something that's been consistent about him.
Yeah, well, some people like when they get really really rich, it changes them. Wealth changes them, and they think that they're like superior to everybody else. And it's like, you're gonna do one little thing that I don't like, you're out of there. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, we all know that guy. That's the same guy on the basketball court, doesn't get picked, takes his ball, and goes home. None of us can play.
Yeah. So, and then one last thing, like with the HBO, I just think HBO is much more superior to Showtime. I mean, from the commentary, you got a guy like Morrow who they brought in, and this guy doesn't know anything about boxing. He probably started following the sport last year, always makes errors while he commentates. You got Brian Kenny. This guy has Lomachenko, Gary Russell a draw. You have Timothy Bradley completely outboxing Manny Pacquiao in the first fight. Every single fight that everybody disagrees, Brian Kenny always says the opposite. He's like the anomaly. So he's just really annoying. I don't even know why Showtime has him there. And just like the fights, the competition between HBO, it's competitive. Where Showtime, they're all one-sided fights. So that's just, I should just think that HBO is a lot more superior in terms of boxing than Showtime.
Well, like I was saying before I answered your call, but thank you for calling in, brother. We always appreciate it. Like I was saying, man, I just want more content. I don't care who's giving it to me. Like, I'm in love with this Rosado fight. And I'm even happier now that all you guys are calling in, picking Rosado. You're making me feel more confident because I think it was just the very last caller that said it. He can fight, man. He does that side to side movement. He's got good movement. And Kirkland, there's nothing special about Kirkland besides that stamina and the will to keep coming, man. It's crazy, bro. But yeah, man, Mayweather's his own man. He's his own boss, and he's gonna do what works for him. He's always gonna do what works for him. That's just how it goes, man. You can't. He gives us enough sound bites to know that. But last caller, I guess, 917. Who's this? 917. You're live. Oh, he dropped off. Listen, guys. If you listen to this on a podcast or something, if you don't want to talk, you don't have to. I'm gonna place you back on mute, and you'll be able to listen. and you'll be able to get your points across.
Hey, you don't gotta be scared.
I know, man. I don't know why people get scared. So, Robbie, man, I guess closing thoughts, man. You didn't give us your opinion on Rosado Kirkland. What do you think about that fight? Were you excited when it got made?
I love that fight. I'm picking Gabe Rosado. I like Gabe Rosado in that fight. I always like Gabe Rosado when he fights. He always makes his fights entertaining, and he puts on a good show. Yes, he lost to Quillen, and he lost to and he got ripped off with Jalen Love. I mean, come on, let's face it, he won that fight. But no, I like that fight. No, I'm picking Rosado to win.
And even in the Quillen fight, like, remember, he was turning things around, but the eye is really what caused him to have to stop that fight, or for that stop to be fight. And don't forget, even the Golovkin fight, with whatever punishment you thought he was taking, he still was on his feet, and they had to stop that fight. So the dude's a warrior for sure, without a doubt. All right, so I just published the interview, man. Please go check it out. Give me your thoughts. I don't have a typical interview style, as you know. My things are more conversational. I like it when guys are more genuine with me. And that's what you get when you listen to one of my interviews. So go check that one out. It's a really long one, but it's a great one for real. Like, you'll get to know so much about Gabe and learn so much and just see where his mindset is. Like I said, not the same fighter from the beginning of last year, was it? When did he fight Triple G? Was it 2 years ago already now, Nelto?
It was 2 years ago, I think. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so it looks like we got another caller here. 503, you're live. Who's this?
Hey, what's up, man? This is Josue from Below Oregon.
Josue, what up?
Hey, what's up, Ness? Hey, I'll just say something real quick on my thoughts on Showtime, what's happened this year. I feel like I've been considering to call every Showtime boxing now WBE, World Boxing Entertainment, just because, whatever we've been getting from Showtime, it's all been like, showcase fights. The A side is supposed to win all the time, and like the pay-per-view suck. All the Mayweather pay-per-views suck this year, the Showbox, they're all tune-up fights, but like Showtime, HBO, those fights have been competitive from Alvarado, Marquez, and Golovkin and Gil. Those have been competitive, but yeah, I just want to say that's my opinion. Like what I think of Showtime right now is that it's World Boxing Entertainment over there. There's no competition going on over there. It might as well be the WWE over there. So, but yeah, that's all I got, man.
All right, brother.
Unfortunately, the boxing public does not agree with you, because if the numbers are correct, people bought 925,000 pay-per-view fights to see Mayweather, and that means Showtime made more money, and that gives them the privilege to put on more disgusting fights. So, you may have a good point there, but the numbers say otherwise. As long as they continue to get ratings, they're going to continue to do whatever they want.
Well, the ratings clearly have dropped from last year. That was shown in Porter's last fight with Malignaggi and his fight with Brook. Mayweather numbers have shown that they've dropped as well, but they're still good numbers. They're still the highest in the game. We didn't touch on the Gennady Golovkin hype and Andre Ward propaganda that took place on the fight game. Because again, I really love this episode, but there was so much shit. But look, I'm gonna hopefully get with Cam, my good friend Cam. Actually, I want to give a shout out to those guys at the Boxing Coalition. Head on over to their site. I believe it's theboxingcoalition.com. Sign up for their they have a boxing league, dude. And it's awesome. I had the same idea, but I wanted to do it, with so that you could win money, because who just wants to be a winner? You need bragging rights and a little bit of change. It always makes things better. But they did a phenomenal job. Shout out to Mount Alpha putting that site out there. It looks beautiful. It really does. And thank you again. They even mentioned us on their About Us, so really appreciate the guys at the Boxing. Oops. I was about to say the Boxing Voice, but the Boxing Coalition. And Cam, I'm gonna get with you tomorrow. So guys, tweet Cam, because if he doesn't help, I'm not doing no fucking Jim Lampley show, because I need sound bites for that. But I guess that's it. Like Nelta said, check out Orlando Salido's. Boxing's gonna be slim coming around, but we will still be here faithfully every Thursday. We're definitely gonna be doing it, being called these fighters, and give you something to talk about. And remember, there's always headlines. So that being said, I'm your host, Ness GTO. I got Nelta over here at Nelta Box, and Robbie at Robert Hendricks, right? No, Robert. What's your Twitter, Robert?
My Twitter is at Ringside Robert.
At Ringside Robert. There you go. And you already know where to find the Beebster at JHabib1. As always, thank you guys. Continue to support. Neil White, you won your glove. I will be mailing that out this weekend, all right? Remember, I got a daytime job, so probably tomorrow if my wife does it. If not, you're going to have to wait for Saturday. So, that being said, hey, guys, I just want to send a special thank you to all of you guys that are listening to the Boxing Voice and downloading us on iTunes, rating us. All right, so I stopped that because I can't forget my guys in the chat. I'm surprised they didn't curse me out. Adolf, we got Adolf Mayweather. We got Beast Modes, Die Hard Casual Fan, DJ Punch Radio, Gabriel Marrero, Giving Quality. And again, we got the guests of always. Guests. Gaspanchi, Jay Rosales, my boy Jay Rosales, Cam, UK, Letting Gifted Hands Go, Nelta, NRG Pop, Nothing for Something, Ringleader X Dank, Scotty from Milwaukee, 414. And right while I got you guys, let me just go head on over to the YouTube channel and do the same to those kind gentlemen over there. Please press that like button. If you haven't subscribed already, do so. Why not, yo? Let me see what we got here in this YouTube chat. Quick shout outs to you guys for being with us here. Once it loads up, and we're waiting.
Check out theboxingvoice.com for some of the best articles on the hottest news in today's boxing.
All right. Well, YouTube is not loading up the chat, so I can't even see who's in there. But just know, I'm talking about you as a whole because we love you. So maybe next time. I don't know. YouTube is YouTube. I can't help that. Hey guys, I just want to send a special thank you to all of you guys that are listening to the Boxing Voice and downloading us on iTunes, rating us 5 stars. We would like you to continue to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at the Boxing Voice, and for anybody interested in writing for the site, you can definitely do so by shooting us an email over at theboxingvoice@yahoo.com. Address your email to Victor Salazar. He's the editor-in-chief. Send something over so he can read. If he likes what he reads, you're part of the team. And remember, leave a 5-star review. You're already part of the team. Later, guys. Till next episode.